What is up, party people? Welcome back to another exciting WordPress tutorial. My name is Daryl Wilson. Today in this video, I'll walk you guys through how to create a real estate directory website with WordPress. Today, I'll walk you through how to create a real estate directory website very similar to Zillow.com. With this real estate website, your visitors can come and list properties directly on your website. You can allow free listings, charge per listings, or even charge for memberships on your real estate directory websites. Your users will have their own personal custom dashboard. Here they can interact with other users and talk to sellers or buyers. They can post more properties, upgrade their listings, pay for invoices all on their own in their customer portal. Now, as you guys can tell, this is a very comprehensive tutorial, right? So in the first part of this video, I'll walk you guys through how to use the Houzez theme and first establish and build a real estate website. We'll then go through all the features so that you guys fully know how to utilize all the features with this WordPress theme. Now, in the second section, we're going to convert our already existing real estate website into a real estate directory website where users can post on your website and you can allow submissions. So in the first part of this video, I'll walk you guys through how to use the Houzez theme. I'll show you how to use the drag and drop builder. We'll explore all the features so you fully know how to utilize all the features with this WordPress theme. In section 2, we're then going to turn this real estate website into a real estate directory website. We will then walk you through how to let users post listings on your website. You guys can let users post for free, or you guys can charge them. You can even create memberships on your real estate directory websites. Now, we have timestamps in the description of this video, so if you guys want to jump around to any part of the video, you guys can go ahead and knock yourself out. Also, if you guys have any questions along the way, let me know in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get to every comment. So let's first go to step 1. Now, there is a link in the description of this video. It'll take you to a page to purchase a domain and web hosting. Okay, and this is Hostinger.com. Now, Hostinger.com is among one of the more reliable web hosts. They have great support and a free domain when you guys use my link in the description. Now, once you guys are here at the top left, if you click on this language tab, you guys can change the website to other various languages. So if you speak Spanish or you speak Dutch or Romanian or Japanese or whatever language that you want, you guys can go ahead and select your language right here. I'm gonna go ahead and select United States. Now, at the top right, you're gonna see hosting. So if I click on hosting right here, let's now click on web hosting. Next, we're going to see this claim deal. So let's click on claim deal, and this will bring you to 3 different plans. So here we have 3 different plans, right? We have the premium, we have the business, and we have the cloud startup. Now, for an e-commerce website, I would definitely recommend business or better. Generally, for e-commerce websites, they do require more resources and more storage. So I do not recommend premium for this video. So you guys can always go with the business to get started, and you guys can always upgrade to the cloud startup a little bit later in your customer portal. So for now, just to get started, we can just go with the business plan. So right here, I'll click on add to cart. Okay, and the next thing is the time period. So here we have 4 different options, right? We have 1 month, 12 months, 24 months, and 48 months. Now, I would definitely recommend going with 12 months. 12 months will give you enough time to decide if this is for you or not. And you guys also get a free domain if you guys go with a 12-month or better plan. And just remember, you guys do get a 30-day money-back guarantee for any reason, so you guys can always get your money back just in case this didn't work out for you. All right, let's go ahead and scroll down here. Next, we're going to talk about selecting a payment. And the cool thing is they take crypto. So you guys can use credit card, you guys can use PayPal, Google Pay, and also CoinGate, which I believe is cryptocurrency. Now right here, you'll enter in your first name, your last name, you'll put in your country of residence, yada, 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 and then you'll put your social security number. I'm just kidding, guys. You don't put that in, it's a joke. All right, it's a joke. All right, and below that, we have this option right here where we can enter a coupon code. Now, $59, guys, for a year of hosting is already dirt cheap, right? But we can actually use my coupon code, which will save you guys even more money. So right here, I'll click on have a coupon code, and we're gonna enter the coupon code Daryl10, and then click on apply. And this will actually save you guys a little bit more money. So the price went from $59 all the way to $53. And of course, if you guys do upgrade to cloud hosting, this also applies for cloud hosting and all the plans at Hostinger.com. All right, and once you guys go ahead and fill out all your information and you guys enter in your credit card information, you'll then click on the submit and secure payments. Once you guys do this, I will meet you guys on the very next page. Okay, so when you guys sign up, it'll bring you to this page right here. Now, they're gonna ask you various questions, but I do recommend to skip it and just install WordPress. So at the bottom right here, I'll click on skip. So next, it's gonna ask us what tools we want to use to build our website with. I also recommend to skip this because they're just going to install a bunch of various plugins and themes that we're also not gonna use. So at the bottom right here, again, let's click on skip. Okay, so next you're going to enter in your domain name. Now think long and hard because this is the actual name of your website. In case you guys are total noobs and are still not sure what a domain name is, it is typically the address of your website where people enter to access your website. So think long and hard and just go ahead and enter it right here. I'll go ahead and enter a domain name here. So I entered in Wilson Darrell Tutorial, and what's also cool is they do give you other suggestions for other domain names, so that's also pretty helpful. So right here, I'll claim my free domain, and then I'll click on Next. Okay, so next you guys need to enter in your personal information on who actually owns this domain. This is typically required by ICANN laws, and it also is helpful if you guys ever want to sell your domain because you can claim ownership of your personal domain. So right here, I'll just say this is personal, and then I'll go ahead and click on Next Step. So next you'll enter in your contact details, and this is important because this will show where your business was registered. You guys can also use your business address or where your business was incorporated. Once you guys fill out this information at the bottom right here, we'll then click on Finish Registration. So next we have the target audience. So you're going to select the location of where you are doing business, and this will actually lead to faster loading times. For example, I'm in the United States, so I'm going to select United States. However, if I do business in France or something, I can always select like France if my audience is in France, but I'm in the United States, so I'm just going to select the United States region right here, and this will actually lead to faster loading times for this specific audience. So I'm going to go ahead and select United States, and then I'll click on Next. Okay, so this is the Houzez dashboard, and this is where you guys can access all the information about your domain name. Now, the very first thing that you guys will need to do is verify the domain that you guys purchased. So you guys will go ahead and check the email inbox right here, and you guys are gonna see an email from Houzez. This is important because they need to verify the domain that it's actually you. So go ahead and verify this information. Now, the first thing I'll do is verify my email address for Houzez. So right here, I'll click on Verify Email. Then I'll click on Confirm. Okay, now we're not done just yet. We'll also need to go back here and we'll need to verify the domain in the actual email. So let's go over here to Inbox, and then right here it's gonna say verify your contact information for your domain. I'll click on this email, and then right here I'll click on this link. I'll go ahead and click on Confirm, and that's it. So our domain has now been verified by Houzez. So let's go back to our dashboard over here, and now let's go ahead and just refresh this page. And after that, you guys will see that all of the notices have disappeared and our domain is now fully active. Now let's install WordPress. So over here on the bottom left, you'll see websites. Right here, you'll see WordPress. Go ahead and click on WordPress. Now it's going to say install WordPress. So right here, I'll click on install. So next we're going to create some login credentials. So make sure that you guys do write this down. And this is important because you guys will need this information when you want to log in and log out of WordPress, right? So I'll go ahead and put Darrell Wilson Tutorial. This is my email address. This is important because if you guys do forget your WordPress password, it will be sent to this specific email on file. You'll create a username and then also a password. Once you guys create this information, here at the bottom right, you'll click on Next. So now it's going to ask us which version of WordPress we want to install. Just always go with the recommended because this is usually the most stable and up to date. So at the bottom right here, I'll click on Install. Okay, so once you guys click on Install WordPress, it'll bring you to this dashboard right here. Now to log into your website with Houzez, all you got to do is click on this admin panel, and this will log you into WordPress and also your website. So go ahead and click on Admin Panel. And ta-da, your website is now published. If you guys want to see your WordPress dashboard, here on the left side, you'll click on Dashboard, and this is your primary WordPress dashboard. Like, this is basically where all the magic happens. Now, if you guys want to see what your website looks like right now, here at the top left under My WordPress, I'll click on Visit Sites, and this is our WordPress website. It's using a default WordPress theme, and they just kind of threw in some demo content, like some content and some images and stuff like that. So yeah, this is just a demo website they've created for us, but not to worry, we're gonna make this site look amazing. So let's go back over here to our WordPress dashboard. So before going any further, now let's adjust the general settings. So over here under Users, let's click on Profile. Now you guys can actually change the color scheme of the back end of your website if you want blue or ocean or midnight. I like midnight the most because it's really easy on the eye to see what you're doing, right? Now we're gonna scroll down right here, And this is where you guys can also update your email. This is where your credentials will be sent to in case you guys do forget your password for WordPress. They'll be sent to this email right here. So make sure that you guys do have access to it. We'll go ahead and scroll down. Here you guys can make a new WordPress password. So if you guys do want to change your password, you guys can do that right here. And then once we're done with that, we'll click on Update Profile. Next, we're going to go over here to Settings and click on General. Here, you guys can go ahead and also update the email if you guys want to do that. And if you guys do speak any other various languages, right here under Site Language, you guys can change this to any language you want. I mean, they have tons of languages you guys can use right here. So you guys can select Spanish or German or French or any language that you guys want. Once you guys do select that, we'll scroll to the bottom and click on Save Changes. The next thing we're gonna do is update our permalinks. So right here, I'll click on Permalinks. So here we have the permalink structure, and you always wanna set this to post name. The reason why you do this is because you want your website to say, you know, mycoolwebsite.com/about us, right? Or /contact us, not all these random numbers and letters, and it doesn't make any sense. Post name is actually optimal for SEO. So go ahead and select post name, scroll to the bottom, and then click on Save Changes. All right, now let's go ahead and click on our dashboard. Now let me show you guys how to log in and log out of your WordPress website. So right here, I'm gonna log out. So I'll click on Log Out, and I'll go ahead and just visit our websites. And as you guys can see, it brings us to our websites. But as you guys notice, there's no way for me to log into the websites. If you guys do wanna log into your website, all you gotta do is go to your website, type in -wp-admin and press enter. This will bring you to the login screen where you guys can log in with your WordPress credentials. So you'll enter in your WordPress credentials here. I'll click on Remember Me so I don't have to keep logging in. Then I'll click on Login. All right, cool. So that's how you guys can log in and log out of WordPress from any location. Okay, now before we install the WordPress theme, there are some server settings that I quickly want to adjust before I go on any further. So we'll be using a premium WordPress theme, and I just want to make sure that you guys have the recommended PHP configuration limits as stated right here. So what we're gonna do, just to make sure we're on the same page here, is we're just gonna make sure that our server limits are set to these specific limits, or better, right? And this is very simple to do, and I'll show you guys how to do this right here in the back end. So all we're gonna do is, here you have our dashboard, right? On the left side, we're gonna scroll down and you're gonna see Advanced. And then you're gonna see PHP configuration. This really shouldn't be in advanced. I mean, PHP configuration is a very common thing actually. Our PHP is 8.1 or better, right? So yeah, 8.1, or here, yeah, 7.4. So we definitely meet that criteria. And over here, I'll select PHP options. And we're gonna scroll down here, and all we're gonna do is just make sure that we have the same numbers as the recommended server requirements. So the max execution time is gonna be 1,000, right? Max execution time, we'll put 1,000, okay. Max file uploads, we have it at 20. Max upload file size is 48. So really quick, let's go ahead and scroll down here. Our memory limits is 2,048. So our memory limits is above 128, which is good. Post max size is 48 megabytes. Here you'll see our post max size is way above recommended, right? So I'll just knock it down to 1,024 megabytes, right? And then the upload max file size is 48. So we're gonna scroll down and just make sure, look at that. We have plenty of room, right? So our upload max file size is also 2,048 megabytes, which essentially means you can upload 2 gigs on your website. Once you guys adjust those server settings, you'll then click on Save. So for this video, this is why I recommended Hostinger, because a lot of shared hosting websites, they don't allow you to change this, but with Hostinger, you can. All right, congratulations on getting your domain and hosting. It's very simple, right? So now that we have our domain and hosting, let's go to the next step. Now we're going to download and purchase the Houzez theme. The Houzez theme is the #1 most popular real estate theme for WordPress. I actually made a whole nother video where I tested out like 20 themes. So I really did do my homework before making this video, right? So we're gonna go ahead now and download and purchase the Houzez theme and then upload it to our WordPress website. All right, let's go ahead and go back to the video. So now that we adjusted these server settings, now let's go ahead and download and purchase the premium WordPress theme, Houzez. Now there is a link in the description of this video. It'll take you to a page to purchase, you guys ready? The Houzez theme. Now, the Houzez theme is the #1 most sold and recommended WordPress theme on ThemeForest. In fact, if you guys go to ThemeForest and just click on real estate, you're going to see that the Houzez theme is #1. To be honest, I think Houzez is #1 because it offers the most variety of features compared to a lot of the other WordPress themes. Some of these are good, I do have a video on them, but for this video we'll be using Houzez because it has everything that you can possibly need for a real estate website. It also integrates with IDX MLS, so if you guys are real estate agents, I'll be talking more about IDX and MLS near the end of the video. So rest assured, this does use MLS and IDX because I know most real estate agents use that. So you're going to go ahead and add this to the cart. This is about $69, and this is a one-time payment for lifetime access, so you'll never have to pay this ever again, which is pretty cool. So go ahead and add it to the cart. Click on Add to Cart. Go to Checkout, right? Now, once you guys go ahead and purchase this theme, I will then meet you guys in the customer portal. All right, so welcome to your customer dashboard. So you'll see here that I have 2 copies of Houzez, right? Because I use them on various domains. And what you're gonna do here is right here under download, you'll click on download and then click on installable WordPress file only. Also make sure that you guys do download the text here as well. So go ahead and also download the text. You guys are gonna need this purchase code in order to unlock the theme on your websites. Now, once you guys have downloaded this, we're gonna go back to our website and upload it. All right, so now let's go ahead and upload that WordPress theme that we have purchased. So right here, go to Appearance, and click on Themes. And then right here, I'll click on Add New Theme. Now, there are tons of free themes out there, but free themes are extremely limited. Like some of the landing pages look cool, but as far as features go, they all have various features, and a majority of them want you to upgrade to the Pro. So they just give you like a small taste of the theme, right? But we'll be using a premium theme that's specifically designed and created for real estate agents. So right here, I'll click on Upload Theme, and then click on Browse. So make sure that this is the zip file. So Houzez Real Estate WordPress theme should be about 12 megabytes, right? So right here, I'll click on Open, and then I'll click on Install Now. All right, cool. So once we install it, we're then going to click on Activate, and then we'll activate the theme. Now, the very first thing it's going to ask you is for the purchase verification. I do recommend to do this because this will actually allow you to install the plugins and import the demo content that we are going to import on the website. You guys can find this information again right here by clicking on the certificate and purchase text, right? So I'll go ahead and paste in this purchase code and then click on Verify. And voila, thank you for verifying your Houzez purchase. So we'll first start off by installing the necessary plugins by clicking on Install Plugins. Now, if you guys, have ADD and you just deleted this or you closed it, you guys can always go back over to the, I think it's Appearance right here, and you'll see Install Plugins. This will bring you to the same exact page. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on all these plugins, right? I'm not really gonna go too much into Slider Revolution, but you guys can install it. It's a premium plugin, why not? It's free. So right here, I'll go ahead and click on Install, and then I'll click on Apply. Now it's going to install the necessary plugins for your website. This should just take like, I don't know, a minute. It's pretty quick. And once you guys install those plugins, just go ahead and hit the refresh page right here. And now you guys can actually activate those plugins. So it's gonna activate all of these at one time, right? So I'll click on the plugin selector, click on Activate, then I'll click on Apply. All right, so it installed all the necessary plugins. Now, a lot of these plugins have their own prompt screen. So once we click on Dashboard, it's gonna prompt you from to go to various plugins. So it might open up like Slider Revolution, as you can tell. Just go ahead and close this, right? So this is just another premium plugin. It's like a slider, but we don't really use it too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on Dashboard here on the left side. Okay. So congratulations, we have now installed the Houzez theme. If you guys want to see what your website looks like right now, here I'll click on Visit Sites, and we're getting warmer. We are getting closer, as you can tell. It's starting to get a little bit more structured, right? So let's go over here to Dashboard. All right, now the next thing that we're going to do is we are now going to adjust some quick settings for the Elementor page builder. So over here, you're gonna see Elementor. Now, Elementor is the page builder that we use to build the websites. And there's something that I do want to quickly adjust in the settings options before we go on any further. And that is the features and the intersections. So over here, you'll see features. Now, don't panic if you don't know what this is. Don't worry about it. Essentially, what we're gonna do is we are going to turn on the intersections because the new Flexbox container is a little complicated for first-time users. So right here, you'll see Flexbox container. I want you guys to select inactive, okay? So we're gonna deactivate this. All right, so once you guys select inactive, you'll just scroll to the bottom again and then click on Save Changes, okay? And that's actually going to turn on the intersections, which are a lot more easier. Also here under General, make sure that you guys do select these right here. So we're gonna select Properties, Agencies, and Agents. This essentially allows you to turn the page builder on onto these specific pages. You'll learn more about all this a little bit later. Don't worry if you don't understand now, no problem. So we'll go ahead and save those changes. All right, real quick, I just wanna let you guys know that the reason why we're going from Flexbox intersections is I found that most users find Flexbox too overwhelming at first, and I do agree, right? I think intersections are a lot more simpler to use. If you guys do wanna learn how to use the Flexbox, you guys can watch my other video, but I don't recommend it for beginners because it can be a little overwhelming. So yeah, make sure that you guys do select intersections. And with that said, let's go ahead and jump back to the video. Now let's import a demo. So over here, we're going to see houses, right? And then you're gonna see all these options. We're gonna scroll down to demo import. And we're first gonna work off a template and then we'll understand things as we go. So we're gonna scroll down and here are the beautiful demos. And I know what you're thinking, oh, I want this one, I want this one, I want this one, right? There are a lot of really good demos for this WordPress theme. And you guys can go ahead and just take a look at these, get some ideas, right? They also support RTL. And they even have a Spanish one. How about that? So if you guys are, in South America or in Spain, you guys want to import a Spanish one, they already have pre-made ones made in Spanish. How about that? So the demo that we're going to install is the Houzez 5. This is the one right here that we're going to import. The main reason why, guys, is because this is a very simplistic starter website. They don't have that many pages, right? For sale, for rents, or agents. It's a very basic format. And the other demos have like hundreds of pages and it's very complicated to get started with those. So we are going to use Houzez 5 to get started with. And don't worry, you guys can always switch between other templates once you guys learn the basics. So you guys can always switch between templates and just start over on another fresh template, no problem, okay? But we'll first get started with Houzez 5. So right here, you'll click on Import Demo. So next we'll go ahead and scroll down. Now these are optional plugins that you guys can install on your website. Essentially they help you with SEO and WP forms. I actually have tutorials on both of these plugins. If you guys do want to watch those, I will leave those in the description, but those are for whole nother videos, whole nother topics. So we'll save that for later, right? All right. So right here, we'll click on Continue and Imports. Now this might just take a minute. So I'm gonna go get a coffee and I'll come right back. All right, so the import is completed and all we gotta do right here is click on Visit Sites. And this is our new WordPress website. Well, kind of, there's one thing that we have to fix, right? So if you guys did get this page right here where it displays the post, all we gotta do is assign the home page as our home page. Now this is a very quick fix. So at the top right here, I'm gonna click on Customize. Now this is the theme customizer. Well, it's a small version of it, right? Now for the homepage settings, all we're gonna do is we now need to select a homepage right here, right? So for the homepage, we're just gonna click on Homepage. And voila, look at that. It's our beautiful websites. And then we'll click on Publish here. Also for post page, I do recommend changing this to blog as well. We're gonna create a blog a little bit later, but this is the actual blog page, right? So yeah, also change the post page to blog, right? And then I'll close the theme customizer. And look at that. We now have a beautiful website. So here we're gonna scroll down, right? And you'll see we have these properties and it shows the bedrooms, the baths, the square footage. This is a beautiful demo. It really is nice. All you gotta do is probably just change this green color into something like blue, something more corporate. And here we have our agents. We have our services. You can see this is just demo text, right? It's just waiting for us to just go in there and just throw in our content and then we'll be good. Now for your first website, this is probably amazing, right? It's really, really good. So we can also go ahead and check out our other pages. So we have our About Us page, right? And you'll see it's the same thing, right? We have our demo content, we have our agents, right? Good looking people, right? We have our blog posts, right? And blog posts is a great way to market your website, right? Here, like 10 quick tips about business development, and here's a blog post. And all you got to do here is just throw in your content and add in, some information about your company and you'll be on your way. Like you'll be good, So, and then you'll see here, remember how we have the I love hiking under the bio? So that's where it displays. So maybe just add in an image of yourself, put in some more bio, and you'll be all set. And then your related posts here show at the bottom. Really, really nice. You know, I love this demo. So next we're gonna see for rent. And right away, you'll see that we have this, there's nothing to show here. Don't worry about this. We'll talk more about this later, right? But we can get rid of that. But for now, you'll see that we have our rentals right here. So if you guys have rentals, you guys can display your rentals right here. And if someone clicks on one of these properties, you'll see it shows in this really beautiful format. You know, we have our pictures right here. We have more pictures, right? We have this beautiful pop-up right here. I mean, this is just like the full package. This looks amazing, right? And then people can share this to Facebook. They can also favorite and stuff like that. As we scroll down, you'll see every property has their own description. We have Brittany Watkins is the real estate agent, right? And, you know, we can go ahead and say, I'm a buyer, I'm a tenant, I'm an agent, or other, right? Here is the address. You'll see by default, they use OpenStreetMaps. We can also open this on Google Maps as well. We'll be talking more about how to integrate Google Maps onto your listings a little bit later in this video. But this is a great little, you know, quick way to use Google Maps without embedding it on your websites, right? And we'll just keep scrolling down here. We have our details, right? So we have the price, property size, the year built, all the information about the property. You guys can actually add more. So you'll see here how there's additional details. We can add in more, like for example, septic tank. I know about septic tanks because my old house that I used to live with my parents, it had a septic tank. So you might need to tell people, hey, there's a septic tank, which sucks, but hey, you got to tell them, right? Here we have features, right? So you can add in some more features about this. And a really cool feature is this mortgage calculator, right? So let's say someone's broke and they're trying to figure it out. They got a whole mortgage calculator on their website where they can calculate it to see if they can afford the property, right? Here we go. We got floor plans. We even have a video, which is awesome, right? So here we go. We got this video right here of the actual property. And this is great if you guys want to, showcase a video of your property. Now there is another feature called virtual tour. I don't know too much about it, guys, but I'll show you a website where you can actually create virtual tours for your properties as well. Here is the what's nearby. You'll see that we can embed Yelp, right? And then we have our contact information, which is the real estate agents. And we finish this off here with our similar listings. So you'll see here how we have similar listings about the actual property and stuff like that, right? Really, really cool. And then people can leave a review. You guys can disable this. I don't really know if you should allow people to leave reviews on properties, but whatever, you can have that. Okay, so that is the for rent. Here's also the for sale, right? Don't worry about this, guys. We can take this off in just one quick click, so don't worry about that. And then these would be like the for sale, right? Where you can say, all right, we're gonna sell these properties instead, And this is the same format, right? But what's really cool is people can compare this, right? So they can compare this one, and then click on compare, right? And then here they can get a quick comparison about the properties, right? Really, really cool. I do love this, right? Go ahead and just scroll back. Okay, and then here we have a sidebar with some more information. People can also preview this, they can add it to their favorites, and so on and so forth, right? So as you guys can tell, it's a very clean real estate website. It's very simple to navigate. It has all the features that you can possibly need for real estate websites, right? And we'll talk more about listings and all this a little bit later. Let's now click on our agents. So here's the agents, right? So if they are looking for agents, they can say, oh yeah, Michelle Ramirez, that's the girl who I was talking to, right? Let's take a look at her listings, right? And then under her, you guys can actually create specific listings that she will be managing, right? So for example, she has 8 listings and people can actually review her, like, oh, she's great, I love her, or oh, she's whatever, and so on and so forth. Okay. So yeah, we'll go ahead and go back to we'll skip agents, we'll go to the blog, right? You got to see this, right? And then here we have the contact us page, right? So you guys have a really beautiful contact form, right? And people can send messages directly on your websites. So Daryl Wilson. And then here is my email. Hey, great video. And then I'll click on submit. Now, if this does not send to your email, There is something that I'll be talking about a little later that will force the actual website to send it to the email. So don't worry about it. So if you guys do fill this out and it doesn't send to your email inbox, don't worry about it. I'll be showing you guys a free plugin that will fix this, and it'll fix the WordPress not sending issue. So let's go ahead and click on the home page. Now, before we design the website, I first want to show you guys how to create agencies and also agents. Over here, if I click on agents, you'll see that there is a list of agents, right? So we can actually create agents for your specific agency. So I'll walk you guys through on how to do that. Let's go to the dashboard. On the left side, you're gonna see there's a few tabs, right? We have houses, we have real estate, and then we have theme options. You're gonna go over here to real estate, and under real estate, you're gonna see a list of options. I first want to go ahead and click on agencies. At the top right here, let's go ahead and add a new agency. And this would be your agency or your business, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and put in Daryl Wilson's Real Estate. Now the next section, I'm just gonna add in some demo description. This is the description that will describe your actual business. So this is the description that's gonna represent my business. And then here we have agency information. So you want to enter in like your email, your phone number, languages you speak, and so on and so forth. All right, so I went ahead and I just threw in some random content right here, like languages that I speak. And I also just put in this number sign for all of the social media websites. But you'll go ahead and link your social accounts right here. Next, we have agency, and here you want to set a featured image. Now, this is the image that's going to represent your agency. So I'll go ahead and click on set featured image. Now, you guys can upload your own images right here by clicking on upload files, and you guys can go ahead and upload your files right here. But we also do have some demo images under media library, and we can just use this just to get started with. So for my agency, I'm gonna go ahead and use this image here. I think that looks pretty cool. I'll set this, and then I'll click on publish. And then publish again. All right, and I'll click on view agency. So here is our agency. We have Daryl Wilson Real Estates. We have the image, and then also here we have the license number. People can also send you an email, and this will go directly to your inbox, and they can also call you via Skype or whatever app they have on their computer. And then right here we have the About Daryl Wilson. We have some description, languages spoken, and on the right side we have contact information and all of our social icons. So that's how we can create an agency. Now let's go ahead and create an agent. So let's go back to the dashboard. And right here, real estate. And then we'll click on agents. So we do have a few agents right here for the demo content, but we can go ahead and create our own. So right here, I'll click on add new. And let's go ahead and put the agent's name, so Daryl Wilson. And then I'll just throw in some demo content. So I went ahead and I just put in some demo content right here, you know, just saying, hey, Daryl Wilson's committed, focused, you know, he's a professional, and so on and so forth. And below that, we have some more information. Now, a short description, I'm actually not sure where this propagates. I'll go ahead and enter in some short description. And then below that, we have the email address and also all this information we need to fill out. So I'll go ahead and fill out this information really quick. So I just went ahead and I put in some demo content. You'll see I put in the address, area served, and then all this other information. So I'll scroll down here to the bottom. Also here, make sure to enter in your social URLs. I just put a number sign just to make it propagate. Below that, we have the company logo, and this is where you guys can upload your logo by clicking on upload files, and then you guys can upload your logo to the websites. If you guys don't have one, no problem. We can just click on media library and just use one of their demo logos. So I'll click on this one. So here's my company logo. Then over here at the top, I'll click on agent. And this is where we can add in a featured image right here. So I'll go ahead and enter a featured image of Daryl. Let's see, who should we pick? This guy, this guy. We'll pick this guy. Set a featured image. Okay. And one more thing I do want to select is right here under agencies, we can now select Daryl Wilson's Real Estates. So this person is now a member of this specific agency. So I'll go ahead and click on publish and publish. All right, so let's take a look at Daryl Wilson. I'll click on view agent. All right, so here we go. So we have Daryl Wilson. He is the agent at Daryl Real Estates. We have his license number, area served, his specialties. Here is the picture of Daryl, and also we have the company logo at the bottom left. People can also send Daryl Wilson an email, and they can also give him a phone call. And below this, we have the description about Daryl. So we have about Daryl Wilson, the description, and then we have the languages, right? We have the contact info as well. And then users can go ahead and, you know, say, hey, this agent's great. They can give him a rating right here, and then they can give him a review. So that's how you guys can create agents, right? And the agents will also propagate over here under our agents. So over here under all agents, this is going to display a list of all the agents that work for your company. You'll see Daryl Wilson. We got no reviews, but hey, that's okay. And then below that, we have our other agents, Michelle Ramirez, Brittany Watkins. You guys can go ahead and delete all this other demo content because this is just demo content. And then you guys can start listing all the agents for your real estate websites. Pretty cool, right? So now let's go ahead and show you guys how to create partners. Now, partners is optional. You guys don't have to do it. I don't really use it, but I'll just show you guys the feature anyway. So if you guys do have partners over here under real estate, let's click on partners. If you guys have partners, you guys can just go ahead and publish those partners here. Let's get rid of all this demo stuff, right? And then I'll click on add new, and then we'll create a partner. So this will be like Patty Wax Real Estate. And then we'll just put in a, a website here, Patty Wax Estates. And then on the right side, I'll select a featured image. I'll just use this one right here, right? It's just some random little icon, and then click on publish. Later on, when we use the page builder, you guys can actually propagate your partners. I don't really use it too much, to be honest, but you guys can create partners right here, and then if I click on view, it'll showcase your partner, right? So it's not even on the demo content. I don't really think it's necessary, but you guys can always showcase partners. So let's go back to the homepage. Pretty simple, right? Now we have a beautiful website that we can work with. So in this part of the video, I'll be showing you guys how to use the drag and drop page builder. It's very simple to use. After probably just like an hour or two of using it, you guys will definitely get the hang of it. In case you guys want to learn more about Elementor, I do have like a 4-hour video that talks about Elementor and all the features, and I'll put that in the description below of this video. But for everyone watching this video, the free version really does just fine. You don't need the pro, right? In my personal opinion, right? So with that said, let's go ahead and go back to the video and design your website. So now that I showed you guys how to create agencies and agents and also partners, now let's actually design the website using the page builder. Now, if you guys know how to use Elementor, I still recommend to watch this section because there are elements that I'll be showing you how to use in this section of the video. So to turn on the page builder, at the top right here, you'll see Edit with Elementor. Now, Elementor is the page builder that you guys use to design the website with. Now, remember earlier how we went to the Elementor settings and turned on intersections? Here's the intersections. Essentially, this replaces the Flexbox. Flexbox is a little complicated. I have videos on it, but I just don't think it's beginner friendly. So on the left side, you're going to see elements, and you guys can drag and drop these elements onto the page. For example, I'll take this heading, and then there's this pink line, and I can just drop it, right? Now for every element with Elementor, there's 3 different tabs. There's the content tab. This essentially controls like the content, and also you can add in links and stuff like that. Style will change the actual font, typography, color, and also add in cool effects like blend mode and stuff like that. The advanced section, this will actually change the position. You can add in cool motion effects, such as like fade in, fade out. For example, I'll fade in down, right? I do like fade in down. There's something elegant about it, right? Fade in left, zoom in up, and yeah, all these different animations, right? So what you can do here is like put in your agency, right? So Daryl Wilson Real Estate. I'll center this, right? And then for the style, I'll change this to white so we can see that, right? And then I'll change the typography a little bit. I do want to bold this. I want to bold it. And here we can change the font. A favorite font of mine is actually Poppins. So I'll just type it in here, Poppins, right? Here we can change the size of it, right? Daryl Wilson's Real Estates. All right, and then you guys can also adjust the line height, the letter spacing, right? Where you can space things out, and a few other options. And then for the advanced, you guys can go ahead and maybe even adjust the padding. So if you want more padding here to the bottom, you'll see we can add in space to the top or to the bottom, and so on and so forth. Now, there's other options here, like I mentioned before, motion effects. There's also transform, where you can rotate this, right? So you guys can get really crazy with this, as you guys can tell, right? I mean, look at that. But I'll go ahead and just go back to default, right? And I'll go ahead and go back to content. Now, as you guys can tell, I made a few changes here and I don't like what I did, right? So right here under history, you guys can actually go back in the history and redo everything that you guys have done, right? So if you guys made a mistake or if something went wrong, you guys can go back into the history and this will actually go back every single step while you're editing the website. So that's a great thing to have in case you guys made a big mistake, right? Which happens all the time. Now up here, I'll click on these little elements tab, little 9 squares. Now I want to delete this one in the middle, right? So what I'll do here is I'm going to right click and I'll delete this. Now when you right click on something, you guys can also duplicate it. You can copy and paste. You can, save this as a default. And there's a lot of options here that you guys can add to, right? So I'll go ahead and delete this. And as we go, you guys can add in more stuff, right? So here I'll add in some text, right? Under the style, put this in the center, right? We have some text. Here we can change the typography, right? If you guys want to add in an image, I'll just take this image, I'll drag and drop it. And then here we just added an image, right? So we can add in this little logo, right? And so on and so forth. As you can tell, that looks pretty terrible, right? So I'll right click and delete that. But we can scroll down here on the rest of the website and keep adding in more stuff. So for example, these right here are actually empty space. It's just like an empty space just to make it so it's not so cluttered, which is kind of a cool thing, right? But what we can do is we can add in more features. If you guys want to add in a button, I'll throw in a button. Whoops, one more time. There we go. And I'll center the button, right? And then for the style, we can change the color, right? So the background color, change this to like, red or to a green, right? I think we're using this green color, right? To a green color, right? And then for the link, I can put the link here. Now what's really cool about the button module is, let's say for example, we have the contact us page, right? Just type in contact and Elementor will actually find that page and then it'll create the permalink for you, which is really convenient, right? And now we'll keep scrolling down. Click on the elements. So these are the basic elements, right? Now I'll go ahead and just close this. Next we have the Pro elements. Now the Pro elements are only for Elementor Pro, right? So we don't have access to this. We don't really need the Pro ones. And then next we have the general ones. The general ones are basically more free elements that we can use, like a counter element, right? So you'll see the counter number pops up, right? Or we can use in something like a progress bar, right? So you'll see the progress bar pops up. And then here are all the styling options for every single element, right? So I'll go ahead and delete this and delete that, right? And if we keep scrolling down, you're gonna see Houzez elements. Now Houzez elements are specifically referring to the actual theme. For example, here you'll see that this one right here is property cards, right? So the Houzez theme actually has their own elements to display properties. So for example, here we have property cards version 1. I'll go ahead and take this and I'll put it above this one. And then you'll see we have these property cards, right? And here we can change the columns. So I want 4 columns or 2 columns, or we can change this to a list view, right? Pretty cool. I can also right click and delete this. Same thing with this one. If I don't like this one, I can right click and delete it, and then I can add in my own, right? So let's go back to the Houzez, right? So the Houzez elements, and let's try property cards version 4, right? Let's see what that entails. Let's see what that looks like. Little weird. Okay, there it goes. All right, cool. I was like, what's going on here? So here we go. We can display the number of properties, and this one's not bad. I think the other ones were better, right? So I don't like this one. So I'll right click and I'll delete it, right? Now, instead of actually scrolling down, I'll just type in property, right? Property, and then here we go. We got property cards version 1, version 2. So I'll just go ahead and drag it right here, and where that pink bar shows up, there we go. And then we're back to square one again. And then of course, you guys can go through these options right here. We'll talk more about filters a little bit later once we create custom fields. So we will come back to filters, I promise. I won't leave you guys hanging, don't worry. But for the style right here, you guys can change the property title color or the font, right? The address, the price, right? So here's the price, right? And if I wanna change this, I'll say, you know what? I wanna change this price to Arial. And you'll see that this applies for all of the cards, okay? So what you can do is you guys can go through every single option right here, and you guys can design this any which way you want. And then for the spaces and sizing, you guys can also add in some spacing here, okay? You guys can add in a box shadow. I actually like box shadows. Box shadows are this box shadows you can tell, and now there's a shadow around the box. This will essentially try to emphasize the actual property. So you can actually change it to default, or you can add a box shadow. It's really up to you, right? Here you have colors, and this is where you guys can add in specific colors for every single element. So for example, the price. If you want to change the price to something like red, you know, whatever, right? You can change the title color, right, to something else. To let's see what we got going on here. Maybe like that's a nice little blue. Ooh, I do like that. It's very subtle, very relaxed. I do like that. So you can go ahead and adjust all of the colors for the elements in the list cards. To be quite honest, guys, the list cards is probably the most important element on your real estate websites. Every other element with houses, it's kind of like meh. You know, it's like cool, but you don't really need like, you know, listing tabs or listing sort by. I mean, this is for very advanced custom work. And most of you guys will probably just use the property cards. Let's take a look at property cards version 7. How does that look? Okay, you guys can see here they've added in these buttons right here, and they added in the compare and stuff like that. But I like this one. This is pretty cool, right? Tell you what, I'm gonna keep this one. We're gonna get rid of the other one. So we're gonna delete this one. You guys are ugly. All right. Only the good looking properties are gonna stay up here, right? So that is pretty much a general rundown, right? You have the houses elements. These actually are elements for the actual builder, you know, and you guys can add these as you go. Now, there's one thing that I do want to mention. We do also have agents, and we also have agencies, right? So over here, you'll see agents. I'll take agents and I'll put it above this, right? Here we go. There we go. And then you're gonna see the agents right here, including Daryl Wilson. So this is the agent that we just created, right? So what you can do here is you guys can create agents in the back ends, and then you can use the page builder to display all of your agents in a really nice, clean format. So right here, we can also put 4 columns, right? If you want 4 columns, right? So we have all of our agents, and then we have Daryl Wilson. So what you guys will have to do is just delete the other agents, and then just create your own. Simple, right? Now there are other agent styles, so I'll type in agents, right? So here we have agents grid. Let's throw this in there. Let's see what this looks like. Ooh, I like this one actually a little bit better. I like that. See the languages, how many properties they have. I really do like that. So you'll see that once you input all the information, it'll display it in a really nice, clean format, right? So I'll go ahead and delete that. We will also delete this, and we're back to square one. Now, if you guys do want to add a new section, let me show you guys how to do that, right? So here we have our Daryl Wilson real estate landing page. And if I want to add a new section, here I'll click on add a section, click on plus, and then here we can choose a structure. So what I'll do here is enter a 3-column row, right? And now we have 3 columns where we can add in elements. And what I'll do here is for the basic, I'll just throw in a heading text, right? Below that, I'll throw in an image, and then I'll throw in a button, right? And this can be anything like friendly staff, right? And then I'll center this. And then for the image, I'll just choose an image of like this guy right here, or let's put the girl. I think the girl looks a lot more friendlier, right? We have friendly staff, right? And then below that, we can add in some contents about the staff, right? And then obviously here, we can put that in the center, you know, to go wherever we want them to go, right? And then we can do the same thing again, right? So heading text, right? Image. And then we'll throw in some text editor below that. And then we'll just throw in a button below that, right? And then this one right here will be like, maybe we're fully licensed, right? I mean, is that a thing, right? Fully licensed? Yeah, fully licensed. How do you spell license, guys? Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. Fully licensed, right? We'll center that. And then we'll also make sure that this content, you know, it looks good. And then I'll center that as well. Now, earlier I showed you guys that you guys can actually duplicate modules. Did you guys know you guys can also duplicate sections and even entire rows? So right here, I'll right click on this and I'll duplicate it. All right, and then I'll right click on this column and I'll delete it. And then all you gotta do here is just change this to something else, right? Like we'll put like property management, right? Property management, we'll also do some property management, okay? And one thing I do wanna mention is, you'll see here we have this button, right? Now, I wanna take this button and I wanna apply it to these ones, but I don't wanna have to do it all over again from scratch because that's a lot of work and that sucks, right? So I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna go to over here and paste the style, right? Paste the style and paste the style. Essentially what this does is that it takes all of the work that you've done onto this specific button and it applies it onto different elements, which is really, really cool. So now that we've created this section, we need to add a little bit of space, right? So under the edit section, under the advanced tab, I want to add some padding to the top, right? And to the bottom, right? So you'll see we added 60 padding to the top and to the bottom. So now it's like a fully built section. It looks great. You'll see if we come to the page, we scroll down, we have these 3 figures and yada, yada. So now if we go to the page and we scroll down, you'll see we have property management, fully licensed, and friendly staff. So that's how you guys can essentially create sections and also rows and columns with Elementor. Now you guys can also right click on this section and even duplicate this, right? So now we have an entire section again that we can also duplicate. As you guys can tell, Elementor is a very powerful builder. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it, and it's very convenient to just duplicate things, drag and drop stuff. As you can tell, you can just drag and drop this, drag and drop that, and so on and so forth. All right, now really quick, guys, I have a whole nother video about Elementor and Elementor Pro. This is a 4.5-hour video and it goes over everything about Elementor, including the new Elementor Flexbox. You'll see here how we create this landing page from scratch. It also talks about mobile optimization. It goes through everything that you can possibly want to know about the Elementor page builder. So I'll go ahead and leave this video in the description of this video for you guys to check out on your own free time. But I think at this point, you guys have a good understanding of how to use the Elementor page builder. It's quite simple to use, right? Now there's one last thing I do want to show you about this builder before we go on to the next section, and that is mobile optimization. So over here, you're gonna see that there is responsive mode, right? And if I click on the tablet, so this is how our website looks like on a tablet. And as you guys can tell, the theme is already responsive out of the box. You'll see here are our elements, right? And if we scroll down, you'll see that even the listings are fully mobile optimized. So this is exactly what people will see on a specific tablet device. Now let's go ahead and change this to the mobile portraits, right? So I'll go ahead and scroll up. So as you can tell, we do need to change this for mobile, right? So once you guys click on mobile portraits, we can now adjust these specifically for the mobile devices. So over here under the style, under the topography, you'll see that mobile portrait is selected. So we can actually change this for the actual mobile, right? We'll make this a little bit smaller. Now we need to add some padding here, right? So for padding, you'll see that mobile portrait is already selected, and I'll go ahead and add in some padding here to the top. Beautiful, right? So now you'll see that everything looks great. It's pretty responsive, right? It shows the title, the description, and then also people can search for it. Now, you guys can actually hide specific elements as well for specific devices. For example, if you don't want this text right here, you guys don't have to delete it. Under the Advanced tab, if you go over here to responsive, you guys can actually hide this on mobile. So that means this will not display on mobile. Only Daryl Wilson Real Estate will, and then this section right here, right? And then here we have friendly staff. It looks great, right? We have our listings. You'll see that even the listings are fully mobile optimal, right? So it looks great on the phone, right? And so on and so forth. Everything looks great. So if you guys do add sections, or if there's things that you guys add, make sure to go to the tablet and also the mobile portrait just to make sure that you fully optimize it for all devices. All right, so I'll go ahead and click on desktop, and then I'll also close this. So I want to exit the actual mobile builder. Now, once you guys actually make the changes that you guys want, all you got to do is click on update here at the bottom, and all the changes you made to the website are now live. So over here, if I click on view the page, you will now see that this is our new website. So we have Daryl Wilson Real Estate, we have some description, you'll see we have our friendly staff, and then we have our rows and everything that we just created. So as you guys can tell, making this website with Elementor is very simple. All you gotta do is go to the website, add in some elements, get comfortable with the builder, use it for about an hour on your own free time. And after you guys use it, you guys will definitely get the hang of it. So that's how you guys can design the website using the Elementor page builder. And also you guys just have to go to other pages like the About Us page, turn on the builder, right? And then you guys can go ahead and go through every page and then just change it to whatever it is that you want to add to the websites. So for example, under property management, you'll see they're using icon boxes. All I'll do right here is click on property management, and then I'll just change this, right? So we are fully ready to do property management and take care of your property. And then you'll see it change, right? And you'll just go through every one right here. You guys can close it, right? Or you can duplicate it, right? Now, this is one of the many elements with Elementor. This is called the icon box. So the icon box is actually down here, right? So this is the icon box, right? So on your own free time, just go through a lot of these elements, you know, drag and drop them, get comfortable with them. Like this is, for example, social icons and stuff like that. And, you know, after about a few hours, you guys will be pros, okay? So yeah, on your own free time, feel free to go to these pages, right? And get comfortable and design them. And once you do that, you'll just click on updates, and that will save all the changes you made to the actual website. So right here, I'll click on view page, and there we go, right? And then also here we have for rent, right? So we have for rent. Now you guys can use Elementor on these pages, but I highly recommend not to, because if you guys use Elementor on these pages, many of the times they can break or they can get weird. And that's my general experience with using the page builder on the custom archive pages, right? Now you guys still can add stuff here, right? You can add a little bit more, but as you can tell, you can't edit the listings because this is actually being pulled from the theme. You can't add anything in between the elements. So they are a little restricted on the listing pages, right? But you can still add things right here, okay? So I'll go ahead and view the page, right? We'll fix this a little bit later. Don't worry about that. We'll fix this under when we create pages. And then also here, our agents. So you guys can't use the builder on the agents pages because this is also a custom archive page, right? So this is actually created by the theme, and they don't want you guys using the page builder on that specific parts. Here we have the contact. You guys can also use the page builder on the contact page here as well, right? And then also here we have blog. And also the blog you guys cannot use a builder on because this is actually created by the theme. So let's go over here to the contact page. And I'll turn on the builder really quick. Now, just to be clear, this element right here is the Houzez contact form. So right here, you'll see email. And this is actually where you guys can adjust like the last name, the first name. Essentially, this is a contact form builder. So for example, I'll add an item, right? And this will be something like, what is your phone number, right? And then here, I'll type in phone number, right? Phone number. Okay. Our phone, our home phone, here we go. And then for the placeholder, I'll just put in number, right? And then right here, I can just drag this above email, right? Pretty cool. So there's the phone number, right? And then there's number, right? And then I can just go ahead and update this. Now, if we scroll down, you're gonna see email, right? So you'll see send to. You wanna change this to your specific email. So I'm gonna change this to your email right here, so email. And then for the subject, this is the actual subject of what's going to show in your email inbox. Daryl's real estate website, okay? Also, there's a redirect. That essentially means if they fill out the contact form, it'll automatically redirect them to another page, right? Like a thank you page or something else. But this is optional, you don't have to do that, right? So I'll go ahead and click on update. You guys can build your own contact form on your own free time. You guys can go bonkers and knock yourself out. But let's go ahead now and test out the actual contact form. So right here, Daryl Wilson, 1-800-999, all right. Here I'll put in an email, right? And then I'll put in a message right here. So, hey, great video. Okay, and then I'll click on submit. All right, cool. So now let's go ahead and check my email. So I'll go to my Google Chrome here, and you guys will see that here is the actual email. So Daryl Wilson Real Estate or Daryl Real Estate Websites. And here we go. right? Great video, and all the information displays right there. So you'll see that you guys can get messages directly from your websites. If you guys do have any questions about anything that I've showed you guys, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be sure to help you guys out with anything that you guys need. So another quick tip, if you guys are not getting emails from your contact form, this is a very quick fix. I have a video right here that'll show you guys actually how to route emails from your server to emails. So the reason why emails aren't sent all the time from WordPress is because companies like Gmail and Proton, they think WordPress is spam, so they try to flag it. So all you have to do is just route those emails correctly from your server to emails, and everything will work just fine. I have a whole other video. It's only like a 10-minute video, and you guys have already paid for hosting with Hostinger, so it'll work just fine. Okay. All right. So now that you guys are getting comfortable with the builder and you know how to use the drag and drop features, now I'll show you guys how to create pages and also assign them to the menu. It's really simple. So let me show you guys how to do that. All right, so now we're gonna talk about how to create pages and also add them to the menu. We're also gonna talk about the blog as well, and I'll show you guys how to fully integrate the blog. So to create a page, let's first go to the dashboard. So right here, you're gonna see pages, and I'll click on all pages. Now, these are all the pages that are created for your websites. Now, many of these pages are created automatically when we imported the demo contents. If you wanna see a page, all you gotta do is just click on a page right here. I'll click on view for privacy. And this is like your privacy policy page, right? You'll see that it's just a bunch of demo content and stuff like that. But if you guys do want to create a page, at the top right here, I'll go to plus new, and then I'll click on page. And let's say, for example, you guys want to create a page about your services or your agents, right? So I'll put services, okay. Now right here, you're gonna see page header options. Now this is a theme option that they've integrated here. So we have property slider, revolution slider, property maps, image, video, and Elementor. Essentially what they've done here is they've given you guys the option to add in different page headers on your websites. I'm not really sure why they did that, but what I'll do here is just put none and click on publish and publish. We'll come back to the page headers in just a bit. So to turn on the page builder, you'll see right here, I'll click on Edit with Elementor, and this will allow us to actually use the page builder for this specific page. Now right away, you're gonna see that we have the services here. If you guys don't want this or you wanna get rid of it, all you gotta do is go over here to settings, and then for the page layout, we're gonna select Elementor full width. That essentially allows us to design the websites. And then here, you guys can just build the website as usual, right? So you can click on the plus, you can add in some boxes here, right? And then here we can go ahead and design the page as usual, right? So I'll throw in this and so on and so forth. So I think at this point, you guys know what's up, right? You guys know what to do, right? So I'll just go ahead and click on update. But next I wanna show you guys something that actually might help you all out. Right here, I'm gonna click on the About Us page. And what I wanna do here is I actually wanna build off this. You know, I wanna take all the work they've done and I actually wanna apply it to our other page. So I'm gonna click on Edit with Elementor really quick. And I'm gonna show you guys how to actually save sections onto your actual library. So down here, you're gonna see Save Options. I wanna save this page as a template. And this is gonna be like our primary templates. The reason why this is our primary template is because it carries the same design scheme. You guys will see that I have other ones that I've already used, right? So I'm gonna close this and let's go back and click on Exits. Here, I'll click on Decide Later. And then I'll go back to the WordPress logo. So we actually created the page, right? And the page was so services. Here, I'll click on View. Now I'll click on Edit with Elementor. Okay. Now, essentially, instead of doing all this from scratch, what I want to do here is I actually just want to use that template. So I'll click on Add a Template, go to My Templates, and then here we have our primary templates. So I'll insert this, and then I'll also apply the settings. Okay, so you'll see the template has imported, right? We have our team, we have our blog, and you guys can basically build off this, right? Now over here, I'll click on this. We're gonna add some space right here, right? So it is a little weird, right? Sometimes the builder might get a little wacky, but that's okay. And then here I'll click on Update. And here we go. So now you'll see that we're building off of our templates. And I think this actually is a lot better to work with than what we're working with before, right? So we have the structure, we have the style, and then we can add in stuff here and adjust it. Now let's go ahead and talk about the headers. So right here, I'll click on Edit Page. So here we have header type. Now for this specific theme, you guys can have specific header options. So here I have a property slider. Let's just take a look at what that does. I'll add the property slider. I'll view the page. And now we have this beautiful property slider onto this specific page, right? And then below that, we have our original content. And we can keep going through the other ones and just check out, which one works for you. And then they also have an integration for Revolution Slider where you guys can create sliders from scratch, but I'm not gonna cover that, right? Here we have the property maps. I'll select Los Angeles, right? We will do the locations a little bit later, but for now, just wanna get you guys comfortable with the actual builder and how to make pages. And here we have a map, right? So people can actually, say, oh yeah, there's this property. Okay, cool, where's that? And they can go directly here. Now, this is optional, right? And then we have our content here at the bottom. And then there's one other option I do want to talk about, and that's the advanced search. So I don't want the advanced search on this page. So for the custom settings, I'm just gonna hide on this page, right? Because I don't really want a search bar, right? I mean, do you guys want a search bar on the services page? Like, not really. So over here, I'll click on View Page, and then you'll see that search bar is gone, right? So that is what the options were referring to earlier with regarding to the header and also the search bar. So this is how you guys can create pages and then also adjust the theme options to add in specific headers for any of your pages. Now, I did mention earlier about this right here, right? Remember I told you guys we'll come back to it? Well, this is showing like this because it's using a plugin that we don't have any templates for. So we're gonna scroll down right here, and under page header options, we are now just gonna put none, right? Because we don't have any templates for Slider Revolution. So we're just going to click on none, click on updates, and then view the page. Okay, and it's gone, right? And it's gone from South Park. You guys remember that? Okay. All right, and then we'll do the same thing here, right? But we can get a little bit creative here, guys. Instead of actually just putting nothing, maybe we can add in like the map or something, right? Property map, right? And then here, I'll go ahead and just select all these, right? And click on update. Let's just see what this does. I don't know. We'll find out right now, let's just take a look. Okay, so yeah, we got a map, right? Here we have 7 properties, right? And they can actually view these properties here, right? If you guys want to go this route, you guys can add this, but if you don't, you can just take it off. And then here are all the listings. Now, these header options display for all of your pages. So you guys can choose to have specific custom header options on any pages that you guys choose, which is actually kind of cool. It is pretty cool. But I do like this property slider. I think property slider was a little bit more elegant. I did like that look. So let's just take a look here at the property slider. And I do like this a lot more, actually. I think this is very unique. It's engaging. And then here we have more properties at the bottom. All right. So that is how you guys can pretty much create pages, how you guys can adjust those other pages. But now let me show you guys how to add it to the menu, right? So we have our menu here, but we need to add it to the menu. So let's do that. Let's go over here to Dashboard. Under Appearance, we're now gonna find Menus, okay? And for the menu, we're gonna select the main menu and then click on Select. Now for Pages, I'll click on View All, and we're gonna find that services page that we created. Remember services? Yep, services with Elementor. And I'm gonna add this to the menu, okay? Now you guys can also add in custom links. For example, here we have custom link, right? Maybe this is like a Facebook group, even though I hate Facebook groups. Here we go. If you guys are my group, don't take that personal, guys. It's just, Facebook groups are kind of dying, So let's just say this is like my Daryl Wilson group, right? And then I'll just put Facebook here, Facebook group. Okay. You guys can also add in custom links. So essentially, this is a link to anything. You can link them to your TikTok, to your Twitter, to your cat's Instagram, to wherever you want to go, right? And then I'll click on Save Menu. Now, if you guys want to create something like a drop-down menu right here under Agents, I'll drag this down under About Us. And now this is a sub-item under About Us. Okay, so I'll click on Save Menu. And let's just take a look at our website and see what we've done. All right, so we have the home, the about us, we have the drop-down menu for rent, for sale, blog. Here is our services page. And then also here is our Facebook group. So let's first click on services. And voila, it brings them right to our services page. And then for the Facebook group, if this was a Facebook group, it would just take them to the Facebook group where they can like and comment and talk all about your real estate, right? So pretty cool. So that's how you guys can create a menu and also add the pages to the menu. You guys can also access the menu by going over here and clicking on menus, right? It's the same thing, right? In fact, I'm going to rearrange this. So I'll put this under here and the Facebook group under there, and then click on save. And we're good. Next, let's go ahead and talk about the blog, right? So here we have the blog. So how to create posts for this specific blog? Well, let me show you guys. Now, the first thing that we have to do is go to the customizer and make sure we assign the blog page. So over here under homepage settings, you do want to make sure that the blog page is under the post page. This essentially means every time you guys create a post, it'll display right here, okay? So let's go back to our dashboard and I'll show you guys how to create posts. So over here we have posts. And this is essentially the same exact thing as pages, right? The first thing I want to do is get rid of this ugly hello world one. You know, we got to get rid of that. Now these are all just demo content posts, right? So if I click on view right here, it's just going to show the post, right? And some demo content and so on and so forth, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this really quick. There we go. Okay. I'll use this for later. Okay. So let's go back to dashboard, and for posts, all posts, here I'll click on add a new post. And we're going to give this post a title like 10 best areas to invest in real estate. Now that sounds like an amazing title, right? And here you guys can just go ahead and blog away. Now this uses a specific builder called Gutenberg, and Gutenberg is the default editor with WordPress. So for example, you'll see up here in the plus, you have these blocks. You have text, you have images, you have quotes, you have media, video, audio, and all these different type of elements you can add to your post. But I think the most important one is just adding in text. So you guys can just type it in, press enter. Also, a quick shortcut is you guys can type in dash, and this will actually pull up something really quick, like image, you know, media library, and then just throw in like an image for your blog post, right? Makes sense? Okay. And if I want to get rid of this, I will click on the dots and delete it. Okay. So at this point, I'll just go ahead and just throw my demo content, right? Here we have our dummy content, right? We have our images, right? And I'm not really gonna go too far into the builder, guys, but I think you guys can understand how to use this just by fiddling with it. I don't think you guys are that, dumb. I think you guys can do this. I trust you guys, right? Now over here under post, we do need to add a featured image though. So right here under featured image, we'll put in a property, right? Or here we go, an image, right? And one important thing is categories. You guys should always add in categories. Here they've already created categories for us, but if you do want to create a new category, like here I'll put one for investment, I'll throw in that one right there, and then add a new category. All right. So this essentially is adding in posts to categories, and all of the posts under these categories will display when someone clicks on category. Let me show you guys. All right. So I'll go ahead and publish this post now, right? Publish, and voila. We have our post right here, the 10 best areas to invest in real estate. And then we have our demo content right here, right? Very simple, right? And then we have Daryl Wilson 03, I love hiking, and people can comment on your post. Really, really cool, right? Now also here, if they click on the investment category, this will display all of the posts that are in the investment category. But we'll only have one, right? So any more that you guys create will be displayed right here. So that's how you guys can create blogs, and also how to create a blog post for your website. All right, party people, now that you guys are professional designing the websites, now let's talk about page templates and also widgets. So with the Houzez theme, page templates work by creating a page for a specific section. For example, there is a page for the compare page, and there's also a page for the search results page. The thing is, you need to assign those pages in the page template section, which I'll show you guys how to do in this very next section. Also, there is widgets. If you guys notice on the search results page and the blog page, there's those sidebars with those little icons and stuff like that. You can adjust the widgets there, and I'll show you guys how to do that also in this section of the video. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and jump to the page templates and the widgets section. Let's go back to the video. All right, so in this part of the video, we're gonna be talking about page templates and also widgets. You guys might have noticed that if you click on search, you're brought to this page. Now, I'll show you guys how to actually propagate pages and also how to adjust these widgets here on the left side. You'll see that we have like archives and categories, and then there's like this apartments, right? Where you can actually click on apartments. The same thing applies to your blog. You guys might have noticed there's this area on the right side where there's just widgets here, and I'll show you guys where those are and how to adjust these. So let's go to our home page. Now, one thing I do also want to show you guys is the page templates. So first, let me show you guys the page templates before we go on to the widgets. Now here, I'll click on search. Now right here, you'll see that we have this compare option. I showed you guys this previously earlier, remember? Here, I'll click on compare. Notice here how we have this compare templates, right? Now this page is being propagated using the page templates. For example, here I'll click on edit page. And what I'm going to do here, just to help you guys understand what I'm doing, is I'm going to delete this page. So I'll click on move to trash. Okay. Now, if I go over here and I try the same thing, something's going to change. So I'll click on search. And if I decide to actually compare properties again and click on compare, you guys will see nothing happens. Nothing happens because we deleted the page templates for compare properties. So let me show you guys how to create page templates. So up here under plus new, let's click on page. Now right here, you're gonna see template on the right side. Template is actually integrated from within the theme. And these are actually pages that are propagated from the actual theme. For example, you'll see here how there is a reset passwords page. Now, if you don't have a reset password page template, nothing will display for the user. The same thing for compare properties, right? We just deleted our compare properties. So we need to actually create a page template for that. So this will be like compare properties. And under templates, under the default templates, I will now select compare properties, right? And then I'll click on publish and publish. So I'll click on update for the compare properties, and then I will click on view page. And voila, you guys will now see that the compare property pages show up. Now I do recommend for a lot of these post template pages, I recommend not to use Elementor on them because they can get very glitchy and get very weird. Now, if you try to actually go to the compare page, you will now see that compare property shows up. So next, let's talk about the CRM. So over here, I'll go ahead and click on the dashboard. And this is the CRM for Houzez. I did show you guys this earlier in the video. And this is where your real estate agents can take a look at a lot of their information, like their leads, right? So you'll see here, if someone sends them a contact info, they can go ahead and get information about that. They can also view inquiries. They can view insights, right? So you'll see that they got some analytics right here. They can also see a list of all their properties. And over here, they can view the stats for their property, right? And then we have save search, my profile, and so on and so forth. You'll see that there is no option for add a listing. That's because we don't have the page created for add a listing. For this specific page template, they did not include it. So we can make one, from scratch, right? So over here, plus new, page, and this will be create a listing, right? Now later in the video, we'll talk about how to let agents create a listing, but I just want to show you guys how to actually create those templates just in case they don't propagate for you, or you guys use another template that it doesn't showcase, right? So over here, we're gonna find the create a listing page, right? So we have the create a listing page, right? Let's go ahead and find it. Wait, it's here somewhere. Oh, wait, here we go. User profile, right? I'm getting warm. There it is, create listing. Okay, good, I found it. All right, cool. And I'll go ahead now and publish this, and I'll publish this, right? Okay, and I'll click on view the page. All right, so now you'll see here on the dashboard that there is now, whoops, my bad. I gotta get used to that, guys, I'm sorry. So now you'll see under the dashboard, there's now a create a listing section. And this is where users can actually create their own listing, right? and they can select different post types, which we'll do in the very next section, okay? So now let's say, for example, right, we have our search, right? But let's say, for example, something happened to your search bar, right? So you'll see right here, if I click on edit page, that under the template, this is the search results page. So if this does not propagate for you, or if it's not working, that's probably because you either deleted your search results page or it never showcased. So just to demonstrate here, I will move this to trash, right? And after I move it to trash, if we go over here and we try to search for something, you're gonna find out that it doesn't take you anywhere because we deleted the page template for the search results page, right? So we have to create it, right? So over here, plus new page, and this is gonna be the search results page, okay? And then for the templates, we're gonna find the search results, right? Search results, or yeah, search results, okay? And then publish and publish. And also for the search results page, guys, we can actually add a header to it if you guys want to add like a map, or if you want to add some sort of properties map or something like we did earlier. You guys can also add specific headers to any other archive page, but I do not recommend to use Elementor. I know you can, it will let you, but I've just discovered that it gets a little glitchy, right? So here's the search results page, and now if I go to search, you'll see that the search results page now propagates. So if parts of the website don't propagate, that's because you need to create the actual page template here in order for them to propagate. Later on, we'll be talking about like login and register and packages, and then also payment pages. These pages must be propagated if you want users to pay you on your websites. Of course, if they want to list something and you want to charge a fee, they must be propagated or else they cannot pay you, right? So that is pretty much it for the page templates. Here, I'll click on update under the search results. All right, so now let me show you guys how to add specific widgets on your websites. So right here, if I go to the search results page, you guys will notice that we have these widgets. Now, later in the video, I will show you guys how to customize the search results page, where you can have a full page, where you can have half a map. But for now, let me just show you guys how to assign specific widgets on your search results page. Also for the blog, you guys also notice here that there are these widgets here on the right side, and we can't really customize it with the builder. So we need to do that with widgets. So first, let's go ahead and go back to the search. And what I want to do now is I want to open up a second tab, okay? Now what I want to do here is I'm going to go back to dashboard, and we're going to go to the widget section. Now over here under appearance, you'll see widgets. So let's go ahead and click on widgets. Okay, I'm going to close this. Now, these widgets are actually referring to different parts of the websites. For example, the default sidebar, this is actually referring to your actual post page. If we go over here to the blog and we see search and recent posts, you will see this also displays the same thing, right? We have the search and we also have recent posts. We also have recent comments as well. Now, if you guys do want to delete this, all you got to do is click on the element and press the delete button on your keyboard. Same thing right here. I'll get rid of this search comments, right? Because that's just a heading text. Now, let's say you guys want to add something, right? Here on the plus widgets, you'll see that we can add something here, right? And these are the same widgets from the actual page builder, Gutenberg. However, there are specific elements from the Houzez theme that we can also add in here. For example, here we have the Houzez. Let's see, we got contact us. We have recent properties, right? Let's do recent properties, right? We'll also do a sign up form, right? So here we got the properties, right? We have a newsletter sign up form. Now this actually uses MailChimp. So you guys may want to connect this with your MailChimp accounts. If you guys don't have one, you guys can sign up for free. It's really simple. And then you guys can just go ahead and integrate the MailChimp onto your websites. Here I'll click on the plus again. Let's see what else we got here under the Houzez, right? We have featured properties. What about for the blog? Do we have anything for the blog? That's you know, let me see what we can do here. I think that's pretty much it, you know. So we've got recent posts, right? We have properties, and yeah, so you guys get it. But for the blog search, I might want to put this to the top, right? So for blog search, I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to move it up and up and up and up one more time. And this one, I'm going to delete this one. I don't know what this is. I'm going to get rid of it. So I'm going to click on these little dots. Click on delete. Okay, so now we have blog search, recent post, properties, and then we have a newsletter, right? Okay, And then here we have topics. Here we have a calendar. I'm gonna delete this calendar, guys. I don't really want the calendar. We're gonna get rid of archives and also get rid of recent comments, okay? But we'll leave the tags, okay? And then I'll click on update. All right, now let's go back over here and I'm gonna refresh the page. All right, and then you'll see this has changed, right? We got blog search, recent post, properties. Now here is the newsletter, and you guys will need to integrate your MailChimp API if you guys want to do this. I do have another video on MailChimp, but I'm not gonna go to MailChimp, make an account, but that's gonna derail the entire tutorial. So I'll leave that video in the description if you guys do wanna check out how to integrate your newsletter with this theme. Here we have topics and also tags, right? So as you can tell, right, setting up widgets is pretty simple. Now I'm gonna collapse this. All right, so here is the other ones that we can add, but let's go over here and let's find the search results page, right? So here I'll click on search. And now we're going to design this page and adjust these widgets here on the left side. We're gonna go to the search sidebar, right? And here we have archives. We don't need archives, so we're gonna get rid of archives, right? And we're also gonna get rid of this heading text. Same thing, we're gonna get rid of this heading text, and then also we're going to delete these right here. So we do have apartments, right? And we can add in more widgets, right? So right here, I'll click on add a block, browse some, and then we're gonna find, I don't know, what should we add here, guys? We have agent search, featured properties, how about that? Featured properties, right? And we'll show this as a slider or a list. Ooh, I like the slider, let's do the slider, okay? And we're also, yeah, there you go, okay. Yeah, this widget thing does get a little glitchy. If I click away, you'll see that this is what it looks like, right? But yeah. All right, so we got our little widget there, okay? We have our apartments, and we can add in more, right? Recent viewed properties, that's actually cool. So if someone clicks on a property, it will remind them in the search results section. So I'll go ahead and update this. Now over here, I'm gonna refresh this page, and look how beautiful that is. Look how beautiful that is. I love this, it looks fantastic. And users can, you know, adjust it. We have our apartments on the left side. We have our properties, and everything looks great. So that's how you guys can add widgets to your search results pages and also to your blog page. All right, so now that we covered the widgets, now let's move on to the more complicated topics, which is how to create listings and also custom fields. Now we're gonna talk about custom fields and listings and all sorts of different categories now. Over here, you guys will see that there is for rent, for sale, there's different cities, and then also we have like the search bar where they can search for things. If you guys notice right here, you're gonna see that there's specific categories and fields like single family home, apartments, and everything that you guys have seen that are in categories, that's what we're gonna cover right now in this section of the video. So let's do it. Let's go over here to dashboard and I'll walk you guys through how to do this. So on the left side, you're gonna see real estate. Now real estate controls all of the aspects about your properties. So right here, I'll first click on properties. Okay, so here's a list of all of the available properties, right? We have the title of the property, we have information about the property, price, and then the status. Now right here, you're gonna see the type, right? So on the left side, we have type. So this is a single family home. So before we actually create properties, we first need to create types, statuses, features, and labels, and then obviously country, state, and city. So let's go through this one by one. The first one is gonna be type. And for example, type is something like what type of property. So here we have apartments, lofts, single family homes, or villas, right? If you guys want to add more, all you gotta do is put it in right here. So over here, I'll put commercial, right? Maybe you guys are renting out commercial properties, right? So commercial, right? And then at the bottom, I'll go ahead and click on add a new type. Now you guys can also create subcategories for your main categories. For example, right here, I'll put in something like small business, right? Because maybe small business relates to commercial, right? Not like a big business, but just like a small business, right? And then for the parent category, I'll put commercial. I'll scroll to the bottom and click on add a new type. So now you'll see that small business is under commercial. And then for the commercial, let's say they need like a big building, right? Like a skyscraper. We'll put enterprise, right? And then we'll also put that under type, okay? So just remember that type is referring to what type of property are you listing, and you can create the categories right here, okay? Now, the next thing that we have is status. Status is pretty simple, right? So what is the status of the actual property? Is this for rent? Is this for sale? Is this in foreclosure? We can add in one more right here. And this will be something like auction. Maybe this is going through an auction, right? Or pre-auction, right? We'll put pre-auction. Pre-auction, and then click on add new status. Now, if you guys do want to get rid of some of these, what I'll do is I'll click on these, right? And I'll go ahead and click on these, and then under bulk actions, we can click on delete and just get rid of those categories, right? So now we only have these to choose from. Okay, makes sense? You guys with me? All right, cool. Let's go to the next one. So now we have features. And these are features that you guys can add about the property. So you can put something like air conditioning, barbecue, dryer, gym, right? And so on and so forth. I think another one that we could probably add here is like swimming pool, right? Oh no, they have swimming pool right here. Yeah, swimming pool right here. Okay, so you guys can add specific features about the actual property. So that is features, right? You guys can add in features, and then you guys can add these when we actually create listings. So you need to make sure that you have these available before we create listings. Got that? Okay. Next, we're going to click on labels. Now, labels are essentially labels here on the actual property, like this one right here, featured, right? You can add labels, right? Like hot sale. Hot sale. We'll also add in like reduced price. Reduced price. These are essentially labels that you can apply on properties, right? Quick sale. All right, quick sale. Okay. So the next thing we're gonna do is over here under the real estates, we're now going to click on country, right? So if you guys do want a country, you can add it here, but I don't think people actually sell properties internationally. Maybe there is a website, but I think mostly for real estate agents, you're not gonna have a country, right? Because everyone knows you're only gonna sell properties from within your own country. But you can add them here if you choose to add it, and then you can apply these in the search filter later, okay? But to be reasonable, I'm just going to skip countries, and I think maybe states is a little bit more reasonable. So over here, I'll put Nevada. Okay. Nevada, California. Okay. And then also New York, right? So this is if you guys are selling properties in various states, which some of you might actually be doing that. So here we go. We have some different areas, right? And now that we have these states, now let's go ahead and go to city. All right, so now we're going to list available cities, right? So for example, so I'm gonna add in Las Vegas, right? But before I add in Las Vegas and publish this, I also want to connect it to Nevada, right? Because Las Vegas is inside Nevada, right? So you need to make sure that you actually assign the actual city in the state for the search filter results, so it's more accurate, okay? Here, I'll click on add a new city, right? And then you'll see the country state it propagates, right? Now for Los Angeles, I might want to put this inside of California, right? Okay, so I'll edit that and then I'll update that. Okay, I'll go back to categories, and then you'll do the same thing for the other states. Now Miami is in Florida, right? So you might want to create Florida and then add that in there. So for Las Vegas, we have Nevada, right? But maybe also we have properties in Reno, right? So I'm gonna put Reno here, and then I'm also going to assign this in Nevada. All right. And then I'll add a new city over here, like San Francisco, and then I'll apply this to California, right? And then over here for New York, we also need to apply New York to New York. Now, there is a city in New York called New York. So you guys can go ahead and assign your specific cities. Now, let's go ahead and go to the next section here, and this is area, right? Now, area is if you want to get very, very specific, okay? So for example, I'm first going to delete all these, right? Here I'll put like the Bronx, right? And the Bronx is a specific area in New York, okay? So what I'll do over here is I'll put New York, right, for the actual city, and then click on add new area, right? Also, in California, in Los Angeles, there is a small city called Santa Clarita. That's where I grew up. Essentially, it's an area within a city. And this is going to be inside of Los Angeles, right? And the same thing for Las Vegas. Now there is a city called Enterprise and also Summerlin, so here I'll put Enterprise. And this is going to be inside of Las Vegas, right? And then also Summerlin, which is a very popular area in Las Vegas, right? So I'll put Summerlin, and this also is in Las Vegas, okay? All right, so just to be clear here, we have 2 cities in Las Vegas, we have 1 area in Los Angeles, and then we have the Bronx in New York, I think that's pretty much it, right? Yeah, so I think that's good, okay. So yeah, that is pretty much how you guys can add specific areas inside of the actual cities to be very precise about your location. Okay, so let's keep going here. All right, so we've done agencies, we've done agents, we've done partners. Here we have reviews. Now I do want to give you guys a quick tip about the types and stuff like that. Now most people are probably not going to use the country and the state, right? If you are an agent and you have multiple properties in multiple states, then you should use states, right? But if you guys are just an agent with one specific area, it just makes sense to just put the cities and not put countries and not put states, because obviously you're an agent in one specific state, right? So when using this, when creating the states and countries, you don't have to make states, you don't have to do countries, you can just skip that and have users search only by specific cities or areas. Okay, just want to let you guys know that. Let's go ahead and go back to the video. We're first going to delete all these reviews, right? Move these to trash. You guys can actually create your own reviews if you guys want to go that route. Amazing property. And then this is an amazing. Now this is if you guys just want to generate your own fake reviews, or you can ask someone for a review and then you can create it for them, right? So right here, 5-star. Now the next thing is, where are you going to apply this review? So we have agent, where you can apply it to Daryl Wilson, right? You can apply it to a specific property, right? If you want to add reviews to a property, you can also add one to the agency, right? Like we created earlier, remember, Daryl Wilson Real Estate, or you guys can do it to a blogger, right? So yeah, this is the only blogger we have at the moment, but I'll assign this to Daryl Wilson, and we can go ahead and publish this review. All right, so essentially what you're doing here is you're just generating reviews for your websites. You know, I'm not going to say it's good or bad. If you want to make fake reviews, do whatever you want. I'm just the middle guy here. You know, I'm just telling you guys how to do this, right? So over here under our agents, I'll go ahead and click on Daryl Wilson, and you'll see there's a review right here, right? And I'll click on view all reviews, and this is an amazing property review. Okay, all right, cool. Okay, so that is what reviews are, and you guys might want to delete these other reviews right here. So I'm going to delete these reviews, right? Move these to trash. Now we can disable reviews, but that's in the theme customizer options, which is the very next section, right? So I'll show you guys how to disable reviews in case you do not want them on your website, right? This right here is packages. This is essentially if you guys do want to charge people to create listings on your websites. But we'll come back to this a little bit later. It's very simple. So over here, we also have invoices. And if you guys do have people pay on your website, it will display right here under invoices. So that is the whole real estate section right here. So we added in all of the labels, the agents, the city. So we are pretty much done with this entire tab. Now, the very next thing that we're gonna do is we're now gonna create a property, right? So let's do it. Over here, add a new property. So let me walk you guys through how to create listings for your websites. And after you guys learn how to create one listing, obviously you guys can create many more on your own. Now the first thing is the title. Now this is gonna be the address of your actual property. So mine is 506 Taylor Way. The next section right here is the description of the actual property. For example, if you guys go to Zillow.com and you scroll down, if you see right here, this section here is the description, right? So we're gonna enter now description for the actual property. On our demo website, it's going to display right here under the description. So this would be something to describe the actual property. Obviously there's various ways on how to approach this, but I'm just gonna enter in just some demo content to describe the actual property. Okay, but we'll clean this up a little bit. You know, we'll make it look a little more nicer and structured. And so you'll go ahead and put in the actual description of the actual property. Below that, we have information about the property. So you'll see here we have property, and then we have various tabs. Now these various tabs are basically information about the actual property. You can also design the actual layout from here. You can add in private notes, energy class, and a little bit more information about the property. So let's go through each tab one by one and just fill this out. So the first thing is the actual price of the house. How much does the house cost? Well, $700,000, right? The next is the price prefix. For example, here they put started from. This will display right in front of the price. So you can put like our price or discounted price, or for builders, they actually do put starting from if there's upgrades available. So they'll put our price, right? Our price. Now the second price is optional. This will actually display right here. You can use their example of square footage, or you can put this as a discounted or something else. For example, I'll put discounted. So I'll put 800,000. And then after the price, I'll put discounted. Essentially, it's going to tell people that it was discounted, right? The next is the area size. So how large is this house? Now keep in mind, this is only the house, right? Not the yard. So I'm gonna put 3,000 square feet. Over here, square feet. The land area is how large is the actual land itself. Usually, you know, it's a little bit larger than the house, so it's gonna be 4,000 square feet, right? Here I'll put square feet as well. So the next we have bedrooms. I'll put 5 bedrooms, and number of rooms, I'll probably put just maybe like, I don't know, 8. Bathrooms, we'll put 2. Garages, we'll put 1. The garage size, here I'll put maybe 250 square feet. The year built, I'll put 2016. And then for property ID, you guys can create your own property ID for your own internal information. So I'll put HZ99. Okay. Now this area, the property information will display below your property. So if we scroll down, you're gonna see details right here. Now you guys can readjust this later on in the video, but it'll propagate here and display the information about the actual property. Okay. So if we keep scrolling down here, we now have additional features. So next we have additional features, and this would be more information about the actual property. For example, over here on the demo website, you'll see that we have a deposit of 20%. Essentially, they must put down 20% in order to purchase the house. We give more information about the pool size, the last remodeled, additional rooms, equipment, and then also a credit score. So I'm telling them you need to have at least a 720 credit score or better in order to purchase the property. So over here, I'll just throw in some, deposit, 30%. I'll add more, a credit score. Okay, so that is the information about the actual property. Next, let's go ahead and click on map. So the next is the map section. So here we can show or we can hide the map. Later on in this video, we will integrate Google Maps API, but for now we can use the default OpenStreetMap to display the property. So I'll go ahead and put in the property address here. So I just entered in like a random address here. So the next thing is property settings. So the next is the property address. So you'll go ahead and put the street address and also the zip code. You have the option to make this property featured, right? And this is actually saying, do you need to be logged into the website in order to view the property? I'll go ahead and select no. You can also add a disclaimer here if you guys do want to add any disclaimer about the property. Next, we have the media. So you guys will go ahead and upload the images that represent the actual property. So I'll go ahead and click on add media. Of course, up here under the upload files, you guys will click on select files, and this is where you guys can upload all of the files to the website. But since we don't have any, I'll just go to the media library and then just upload a few images. All right, so I went ahead and I uploaded my properties, and also right here, I'm gonna add a video URL. So I'm gonna add a YouTube video. This will actually display on the actual property so people can actually see this through a YouTube video. The next one is 360 virtual tour. Now, I don't really know how to embed virtual tours, but there is a company that you guys can use. This is Matterport.com. They actually create these kind of maps for real estate agents. And what you guys can do is just contact them. They have a phone number on their websites, and you guys can give them a phone call if you guys want, help with designs or 360 maps. You'll see here they do a really good job at it, and these guys can definitely help you out with the 3D maps or any sort of maps for your real estate websites. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and skip this one, but I'll go ahead and leave that website in the description below of this video if you guys do want to check them out. Next, we have contact information. So who is displaying this actual property? Here we have the agent info. Here we can actually select an agent. Remember earlier how we created the agent Daryl Wilson? Well, now you can assign those agents to this specific property. You can also choose agency info. So if you want a specific agency to actually represent this property, you guys can do that. So you can do, agency, agent, or just do not display. But I'll go ahead and put Daryl Wilson. The next tab is slider. So if you guys do want a custom slider, you guys can add it here, but honestly guys, it doesn't look good and I would not recommend to use the slider. So I'm just gonna skip the slider. It just showcases an image above the actual property, which is not really that helpful. So next we have sublistings, and this is going to recommend other properties if users are viewing a specific property. But this is actually a depreciated option because now there is similar listings, and this will display below all of your properties. So you'll see that it recommends all these other properties when people are currently viewing this specific property right here. So it is a depreciated option, and I would actually skip sublistings. Next, we have floor plan. So with floor plans, you guys can actually create a little bit more information about every single floor on your property. For example, over here, you'll see there's floor plans, and we have the first floor and the second floor. If I click on the first floor, you'll see that, we have some square footage dimensions here for the bed, for the bath, and then you can add a price if you want, but that doesn't make much sense. So you can skip the price if you want. Then you can upload an image as well, and then add a description about every single floor. Okay, so I just put in some basic info, like how large is the first floor. I just put, there's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths on the first floor, and then you can actually add more here and then add like the second floor and so on and so forth. The next is property documents. If you guys do want users to actually download documentation for the property, you guys can upload that documentation here. This would be something like if someone died in the property, or if there's a lien on the property, or if their tax is owed, something that you want users to know before they purchase the property, you guys can upload those documents right here. Okay, and the next is private note. This is something internal for your team, so need to sell fast. Okay, and only team members will be able to see this. Next is energy class. If you guys do want to add a specific energy class to your property or let them know what kind of energy the house uses, you can enter this here. I'm not really sure what this is. Maybe if you're a realtor, but I have no idea. All right, so yeah, that's what that is. So next we have layouts, and here you guys can adjust the layout of how the actual property is structured. This is actually using layout 6, so you guys can actually go here and adjust the layout. We'll come back to this in just a bit, so let's just go ahead and skip this for now. So this here is a depreciated option and no longer works. All right, so that is pretty much it for the property section right here. So we went through all of these tabs. Now there is another important option that we need to add, and that is the category and also the image. On the right side up here, you'll click on property. If we scroll down, you're now gonna see that we have those types. Remember earlier how we created types and features and status and all this other information? Now we can apply this to this specific property. So for example, I'll go ahead and say this is a single family home. And this is also commercial, why not? Whatever, it's a small business house, maybe, I don't know, whatever, right? So you can add the type here, okay? And then for status, is this for rent? Is this for sale? Is this, reduced price? We can go ahead and enter those here. So I'll put for sale and also reduced price. Next, we have the features. So we can actually go ahead and select the features for the actual property, right? I'll go ahead and say, all right, it has all this stuff, a washer, TV cable, hopefully no septic tank, right? All right. And then here we have labels. Now labels will be here at the top right here. So you'll see this is featured and for sale, right? So we'll just go ahead and put hot sale, reduced price. We're gonna skip country because we're not gonna tell people this is in America. Obviously we're a realtor in Las Vegas, so we don't need to tell them that. So we're just going to skip that and go to states. And then for city, I'll put this is in Las Vegas. And below that we have the area. So I'll go ahead and select Summerlin. Now right here, if I click on add new area, you guys can always add in more areas as you go. So if you did forget, it's like no problem. You can just go ahead and add it in here, right? Maybe this is in the city of North Las Vegas or something, right? And then I'll add this, okay. All right, there we go. And if we keep scrolling down, now this is very important. This is the featured image. So this is the actual image that represents the actual property. For example, you'll see that we have these images right here. So this is where the featured image will show. So it's very important that you add a featured image that represents the actual property. All right, so I'll go ahead and select a featured image. All right, I'll go ahead and select this one here and then click on set featured image. Next, we have excerpt, and this is pretty much only for blog posts. So we don't need to use this, so we can skip the excerpt. We can also skip page attributes. This is not for property. So next you can set property expiration. So you can turn this on. And let's say, I want this to expire in October, right? Now I'm gonna take this right here and move it because I can't really see it. There we go, okay. Or let's see, it was there, all right, whatever. We'll just put the 30th, right? And then you can go ahead and select like the minute and the hour and so on and so forth, okay. This is Slider Revolution, we don't need to worry about this. And I think that is pretty much it. So now let's go ahead and publish this property and see what we got. I'll click on publish and publish. All right, now I'll click on view property. And look at that, we now have the beautiful listing right here. So let's go through this and explain how these propagated, right? So we have the actual title, right? We have our price, 700,000, and 800,000 was discounted. So you'll see over here that the 700,000 is for the sale, and here is the second price, and then also after the price. So the next is the status and also the type, right? So we have featured, for sale, hot sale. Over here we have for sale, and it also will display the actual labels right here. So we can add in more like, quick sale, and we can update that, and that'll add more labels, right? So next we have the secondary address. You guys can choose to always get rid of this or hide it. This is actually available right here under the map section. So you'll see here that this is the address. And if I go ahead and delete that and update it, you'll see it disappears. So I think maybe this is better, right? Now we'll go ahead and keep scrolling down here. We have the images that we uploaded, and users can actually go ahead and scroll through these, and they can contact the agent, they can favorite it, and they can also share it. They can also send Daryl a message and also call him right here. We'll go ahead and scroll down here, and then we'll look at the property info. So here you'll see we have the small business, commercial, single family home, and this is the property type, right? All right here. They added more information like bedrooms, baths, garage, and also this can be found in the information section right here. So beds, we have the bathrooms, and then the garages. If we scroll down, you'll see this is the description. Now later on, we can actually mix and match these elements. We can move them around, right? So here is the description. Below that, we have the address. So 5067 Taylor Way. You'll see we have the zip code, the city, the area, and the state county. Okay. And then there's a map. And if we scroll down, we now have details. So here is the details where it displays the beds, the baths, property size, and all of the information that we entered right here under information will be displayed right here. We also have the additional details. Remember, we have credit score, deposits, the pool size. Below that, we have the features. So all the features that we added in will be displayed here. We also have a mortgage calculator. Now, again, later in the video, we will go ahead and show you guys how to delete this or add in elements. But for now, here's the calculator, right? So we can go ahead and use this to see if we're qualified. Next, we have floor plans. So you'll see here that we have the floor plan. And below that, we have the video. So people can actually just click on this, take a look at the actual property. And yeah, that's always cool. Here's the what's nearby. Later on in the video, we can always integrate a Yelp API if you guys want to go that route. And then lastly, we have the contact information about the actual agents where they can get more information about the property. And lastly, we have similar listings. So if they are looking at one property, you might want to recommend others. And similar listings will be displayed here at the bottom of the listing. And also I want to show you guys here at the top, users can actually click on these tabs here at the top right here, and they can just scroll to any section in a really nice clean format. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to the top. Now let's talk about how to change this actual layout. So over here under property, remember how we talked about layout? Here's where you guys can adjust the property type. So for example, I'll put version 1 and click on updates. Now, if I go over here and I refresh the page, it's going to readjust the layout. So you'll see that it changes the actual header layouts. And then here is the description and everything else. Now we can also change this section below that. So over here, you'll see that property content layout also has different styles as well. We have defaults or we have tabs, and you guys can mix and match this. So the property top type will control the actual top right here, right? And the content will actually change the content layouts. So now let's refresh the page. And you'll see now, instead of actually having users having to scroll, it just puts them in tabs right here where they can go ahead and just check everything out like that. Okay, and then over here, we'll do something else like minimal. And let's change this to version 3, right? So you guys can mix and match, right? You can change the top, and then also you can change the content layout as well. So over here, I'll refresh the page. And then you'll see we have this new layout right here where users can actually scroll here through the properties, right? And then below that, we now have this new minimal style, right? So it actually gets rid of the box shadow and it displays it in a specific format, right? So that's pretty cool. So yeah, on your own free time, you guys can go mix and match through these properties. These do say global here at the top, and that's because the theme options are setting that globally. We will talk more about the global options when we talk about the theme settings. Okay, so our property has been successfully created, right? So here's the property, and we can actually find this in the actual search. So I go over here to home, and I just click on search. you'll see that 5067 Taylor Way displays right here. It also shows that it was discounted right here, so really cool, right? Now, if you guys do want to delist properties, I'll show you guys how to do that. So I'll go ahead and click on Edit Property. And let's say, for example, someone bought the house or you want to take it down. All you got to do is over here under Visibility, you'll just go ahead and change this to Privates. Also, you guys can delist this altogether. So right here, this says Move to Draft. If you click on Switch to Draft, this will leave it like in a pending state, but it will take it off the website. So now it's no longer available on the website, but you guys can always publish it later if you guys decide to, repost it, or if there was a problem with the agent or something, you guys can always go ahead and just add it back to the website. So you'll see there it's draft, and these are active right there, right? So if I go to the website and I try to search for it, it will no longer be available, right? So Taylor Way is now gone. Now also, all of your properties will be displayed in your listing section. So over here under real estate, if I click on properties, you'll see that all the properties are displayed right here. So you guys can go ahead and check these out and edit them, or anything that you guys want to do, you guys can adjust the properties from right here. Now lastly, you'll see over here under luxury family home how on the right side under actions, how you guys have options. So you can remove this from the featured, you can expire this, you can duplicate it, you can put it on hold, or you can mark it as sold, right? So that is pretty much it for the listings. If you guys do have any questions about listings or listing types or properties, let me know in the comments below. I can always help you guys out. Okay, so in this part of the video, we're gonna be explaining the Houzez options. There's not too much in the Houzez option that's important except the field builder. So that's something where if you want to add something else to your listings, like septic tank, right? Or if you wanna add something like a credit score section, you guys can use the field builder. So I'll be showing you how to use the Houzez options in this section of the video. All right, so let's go ahead and jump back to this tutorial. So over here, I'm gonna click on Houzez. All right, so now let's talk about the Houzez option. So if you click on Houzez here on the left, you'll see that there's a few options here. Now the first is just the basic plugins. So when you guys were installing the theme, it recommended a few plugins. And these are the plugins, and you guys can install and activate them here at any time. Next is the fields builder. Now this is probably the most useful thing about the options here, but I'm gonna come back to this at the end. Let's just first keep going here and go through each tab, and we'll come back to that. Next, we have the custom post types, such as like agents, agencies. You guys can turn these on or on. I don't really know why they're even here, but if you want to add those in, you guys can go ahead and add those in right here. All right, next we have taxonomies. Taxonomies are the taxonomies that we selected earlier, such as country, city, area, and county and state. You guys can choose to enable or disable these. And country might probably be the only one that's actually reasonable, right? Because if you're selling real estate, you're probably only selling it in one country, right? So you could disable the country taxonomy if you choose to go that route, right? But this is where you guys can turn these on and off. All right, the next one is permalinks. Permalinks is essentially setting up the permalinks for your websites. I don't find any reason to adjust any of these. In fact, I would leave all of these standard. If you guys do adjust this, it could create 404s on your website. So I would just leave this standard here under the permalink section. Next is the currency switcher, right? And this is where you guys can get exchange rates from openexchangerates.org if you guys do want to add in specific currencies and switch them on your websites. You'll go to this website and sign up, make an account, enter your API key, and they'll give you the exact rates for whatever currency you choose to use. Okay. And then here we have currencies, and this is where you guys can add a new currency. So I'll click on Add New, and then this is where you guys can add in your specific currency, right? So for example, I'll put in Thai baht, and then this is the baht. All right. I don't even have the symbol on my keyboard, so. Yeah, I'm not really sure where to get that. I could probably get it from the internet somewhere, but yeah, so you'll enter your currency symbol here, right? And then you'll choose the currency position. Here you can choose the decimal points, and then you can create this specific currency. Now, I think a lot of the other currencies just use periods. I think Eastern Europe, they use a lot of periods in their currencies, but America uses commas. We don't use periods. So you guys can add a currency here if you guys choose to go that route. And then if you click on currency, it'll list right here. And then you can assign those currencies later when you guys create a membership. Here is documentation. If you guys have any problems, feel free to message these guys. You know, guys, I do my best for the comments, but if this is something regarding something like very technical with coding and you want to do something very dynamic, I'm probably the wrong guy to talk to, right? You probably should talk to these guys, or maybe hit up someone on Fiverr that can help you with the Houzez theme. Here we have feedback. If there's something that you want to adjust, you guys can send them feedback right here, right? And then here is the purchase code, where you can enter in your purchase code at any time. So now let's go over here to the Fields Builder. So the Fields Builder essentially displays on the properties when people are creating them. Over here, I'll click on Add New. All right, so here we have a field name, and I'm gonna type in septic tank, or septic tank. Here I'll put yes or no. Okay, you guys can see I've already done this. And then for type, we have a few different options. We can choose a text, a number, URL, multi-select, or whatever, right? I'll just select text for now, just to make this simple. And then here, I'll submit it. So under Fields Builder, you'll now see we have septic tank. So I'm gonna go over here to this property, and now you're gonna see that under this specific property, the one that we created earlier, we now have the option for septic tank, right? So this helps agents put in more information about the property. And also, if there's something that you want to add here, you can add it in right here. And we can add in another one, right? So for example, and then maybe this will be like type of roof, right? Type of roof. And then for type, we have the multi-select, right? And here I'll put in shingles, right? We also have wood shingles, which are actually banned in California and some other states because I guess they cause fires. And then we have cap roof. Okay. And then I'll go ahead and click on submit. All right. So now we have two different fields, right? We have septic tank and also the type of roof, because some houses we need to know what the type of roof is just in case, right? And I'll go ahead and refresh this page now. Once I refresh the page and I scroll down, you'll see that type of roof now has this little box. If I click on this box, it now has this option where I can select shingles, wood shingles, or cap roof, okay? So that is what the Fields Builder is. It essentially adds more fields here for your properties, just in case you want to add in more information about your specific property. All right, so I went ahead and I put in yes for septic tank, and then for type of roof, I put cap roof, and then I'll click on update. Now there's one thing I do want to mention. If you guys put nothing there at all, then the field will not show up. Okay, so if you don't want it to display, just leave it blank and it will not display in the settings. So let's go ahead now and scroll down here. And we're gonna find that under the details, go ahead and find out here. Here we go. So type of roof, cap roof, septic tank, yes. So that's how you guys can add a little bit more information about your properties. So that is pretty much it for the Houzez options. They are, there are some useful options here. I think the only thing that's really helpful is the Fields Builder, but overall, they're just very miscellaneous options that you probably will never use. So now that you guys know how to use the Houzez options and you guys know how to create listings and you guys are familiar with all these different labels, now let's go back to the search results, or I'm sorry, the search bar. So I did mention about the search bar, but now that we have a lot more labels and stuff like that, now we can use this and understand what we're doing with it. Now remember, the search is not required, right? But every page does usually have some sort of search, or on some pages I might have it. So this is where you can start using the labels to actually apply for your search, right? So here we have this first field, which is cities. Now you can change this to pretty much anything, right? For example, you can search by beds, you can search by bathrooms, you can search by price, right? For example, here I'll put the minimum price, right? And then for the label, I'll put min price, right? And if we click on this now, you're gonna see that only prices show up, right? So yeah, so that's how we can basically, adjust that. And then for the placeholder, we'll just put like price, like where people can shop by price pretty much, right? So here we have price. And then we can go ahead and add in one more, right? So we have price, but we can also do something else like max price, right? We can do max price. So we have min price, and then here I'll put max, right? So max price. Maybe this one over here I'll put min price, right? Just to make sure that it correlates together, right? So we have min price and then max price, right? And then we can add another one. I'll duplicate this one, and then right here we can put something like the city or the area. Remember how we created those earlier? So here we have city. Put city, and then also over here, I'll put city. Okay, now we got city, and then you'll see this is a list of all the available cities that we created. And let's make another one, right? So we have city, and you know, I think at this point you guys understand, right? We can do by year built, by radius, by septic tank. Remember how we created septic tanks? We can, you know, go that route or whatever. Features, right? We can search by features. So you'll see here that it displays a list of all of our features, right? So it's very dynamic, as you can tell, right? There's many different ways on how you guys can approach this. And then over here, we have the keyword, but we should probably change this to type, right? I think type's a little bit better, right? Type is basically saying like, what is the type of things you're looking for, right? Something like this, which is a little bit more focused, right? So I'll put type, and then over here, I'll also put type. Keyword is too broad, I think, right? It's just, you know, it's cool, but it's just too broad. And then the search button right here, I'm sorry, the type over here, you see under column width how this is taking up all the space. We can reduce this to like 25, right? Something a little bit more smaller, right? Or 20, right? Make them all the same size, right? And then you'll see the search bar just like snaps right into place. Now we can make the search bar larger by clicking on the column right here, and under layouts, I think we can make this larger. I'm sorry, the 6 dots right here, and we can make this larger, right? So you'll see that we can make this a little bit larger, and we can add in more and stuff like that. Now, one thing also I do want to mention, so this is the form field, right? So this is what we just designed right here, but there's also tabs, and tabs is basically like the things above it, right? So here we put for sale, for rent, but I think we added in another one, right? We have pre-auction, right? And we also have like foreclosures, so you can add those in, or we can change that to city or type and whatever. So you can mix and match this, right? You can have tabs up here, and then you can mix and match it with the search bar. So it's very dynamic, as you can tell. I think the theme developer did a very good job at setting this up. I think for rent and for sale are probably ideal, and these two as well, right? So that's how you guys would adjust the search bar. But let's just go ahead and save this, and let's see what we can do here with this. All right, so here we go. I'll go ahead and select for sale, right? Looking for houses for sale. Minimum price, I'll just put any. The maximum price, I'll leave it as any for now as well, right? And then here we have the cities. So I'll just select Las Vegas, and then I'll click on search. And there you go. So we only have one property, right, in Las Vegas. So I'll click on this, and you'll see that this is in Las Vegas, right? So here we go, Las Vegas, Nevada, and here is the property. Now we can go ahead and try this again, right? Let's just do California this time, right, for sale. And let's just do Los Angeles, and then just click on search. Here we go. We got 7 properties, and you'll see Los Angeles, Los Angeles, Los Angeles, and they are all in Los Angeles, right? Do we have any in New York? I'm not really sure if we assigned it yet. So let's go ahead and check it out really quick. New York, and then click on search. Yeah, we do it. We have 5 in New York. Cool. Awesome. So that is how you guys can adjust the search bar filter. So it is very dynamic. They have a lot of demos where they've done a lot of really cool things. But on your own free time, you guys can go through this. You guys can mix and match stuff. And now that you guys know how to use custom post types, you can use those to apply to your search filter bar. So here's some other examples of their search filter. So here they have the type, right? Location, property size. Well, yeah, I guess they did bedrooms. And then they have your budget, right? So this is like basically the max spending, right? And then they have for rent and for sale. They also have this one right here, which is a lot more dynamic, right? So you can search by cities, by status, by, what is this? I guess type, I'm not really sure. Bedrooms, minimum area, maximum area, min price, and also max price. So it is very dynamic, the ones that they created over here. So they basically chose to use like square footage as part of their search filter. So you'll see it pops up there. So you guys can always go that route, but take a look at their demos, you know, see which one you like. If you guys don't want one, you guys don't have to have one, but take a look at their demos, get some ideas, and then just go from there. Okay, so in this part of the video, we're gonna be talking about the Houzez theme options. Now, theme options for every theme is like the bread and butter, right? It's basically what can this theme do, and that's what the theme options are for. So in this part of the video, I'll be explaining all the theme options. We're gonna go through most of the important ones and explain how they work. There are some that I'm gonna skip just because they're like irrelevant and depreciated. In fact, some are depreciated, and I'll talk about those in the video as well. So the theme options in a nutshell control various parts of the website that the page builder normally does not. There are a lot of features to cover, so in this part of the video, I'll go through all the features and explain how well they work. All right, so let's go ahead and jump back to the video. All right, party people, in this part of the video, I'll be showing you guys the theme options for the Houzez theme. Now, throughout your website, you can adjust various parts of the website, like the search results pages. You can change the headers, the footers, and other various parts of the website, like the blog. You can do all of this from the theme options for the Houzez theme. So we're gonna go through all the theme options. I'll explain the more important ones, and then I'll also show you where those changes are made. So if you click on theme options here at the top left, you'll be brought to the Houzez theme options. Now, really quick, so these options here on the left side are the same exact options here under this tab right here. I'm not really sure why the developer decided to duplicate these options, but these are the same options, so try not to get overwhelmed, right? Because I'm sure when you first look at this, it looks like tons of options, but they are the same options. So we have general, translation, logos, general, translations, logos, and so on and so forth. Okay, so the first is the general tab. And this controls some general parts of your website, like the container width, where you can change the container width. Although most websites are full width, you can also have a back to top button where, here at the bottom right, you'll see there's a back to top. And then we have the add to favorites and then breadcrumbs. So add to favorites is basically the little add to favorites thing right here, right? And this is if they are logged out, right? So login required for add to favorites, right? And then we also have some options like mobile phone number and breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs are when you actually click on a property right here. I'll just give you guys an example. Here are the actual breadcrumbs. So if you want to get rid of this right here, you can turn that off. If you want to, have them on, you can leave them on, right? And they have some other general options here like pop-up gallery caption, and that's just like a little caption at the bottom when people click on the images, and so on and so forth, right? But these ones right here are a little bit more important, where you have the square foot text and then you have the square meters text. So if you want to change that, you can do it right here. Also here, you'll see that there is the sticky sidebar. A sticky sidebar is when actually users click on specific properties, and then on the right side, you'll see that like the right side, how this is sticky. You can turn these on or off on various parts of the website. So here you'll see the property detail page, we have it on, right? So if you don't like the sticky sidebar, you guys can always take that off. But yeah, it's just an option where you guys can turn those on or off at your discretion. Okay, so those are the general options. Pretty simple, right? Pretty basic. Next, we have the translation. Now, this essentially allows you to translate various parts of the website, and you can change this to anything, right, to fit your company culture. So add compare, you could put add to compare or add compare or just compare, right? Something like this. And then this will actually apply throughout the text on your website. Next is logos and favicon. Now, if you guys don't have a logo, there is a website that I recommend to go to, and I do have a coupon code, I think, and it is Fiverr.com. So you guys can use my affiliate link if you guys want, and it'll bring you to this page right here. You guys don't have to log in, just click around, click away, and you can close all those tabs. And here you guys can get like a logo for your real estate website for like, $10, right? So over here under budget, I'll put under 30 bucks. So here's a list of the logos where you guys can have someone create a logo for you for just like 5, 10, 20, 30 bucks. I believe I do have a coupon code, and I will leave that coupon code in the description below this video. I think it'll give you like 20% off your first purchase with Fiverr, but I would definitely use these guys here to create a really nice logo, because it's much better than using those free logo website maker tools. In fact, legally, you can't even use those tools because you can't copyright them. So you're better off getting your own logo here, so you can trademark the logo so you can use it and no one else can. So you can go ahead and upload your logos here. And you can also do it here for the lightbox and then also for the dashboard logo as well. Next, we have headers. If you guys do want to change the header of your website, you guys can do that from right here. And they have various styles, right? So they have this one here, and I'll click on Save Changes. And if I refresh the page, you'll see the header has changed, right? And also we can, change it to this one, Save Changes, refresh the page. And we can actually adjust the colors here and stuff like that. But what we can do here is you guys can go ahead and go through these right here, see which one you like, and you can always change the header. Here we have the header height, where you can make the header longer, right? So if you want it longer or bigger, you can also make it bigger as well. And then they have some other general options, like if you want a box or full width layouts, and then also if you want to have the navigation aligned to the left or to the right side. So I'm gonna click on this header style here at the top, and then click on Save Changes. And then here we have social media, where you guys can add in your social media icons. This will display in the header and also on the elements and also on any other element that you guys use for the social element with Elementor. So it will appear at the top if you guys have social icons. It'll also appear if you guys use the Elementor elements for the actual page. And then also these right here also will actually be the social icons, and they'll link to those specific areas. So that's what these options are referring to, okay? Create listing button. If you guys do want to have people actually create listings on your website, you can actually turn this on or turn this off, right? So if you guys turn this on, it'll actually prompt them to create properties. So I'll go ahead and click on Save Changes, and then you will see the Create a Listing tab right here. So that's what that option does, and this will allow users to actually create listings on your websites, right? But they will need to log in first, right? So yeah, we can actually turn this option on or off in the general options. So next we have the top bar, and the top bar is actually this black bar up here at the top. So you guys can turn this on and off, and then you can adjust the phone number and the email address, and then also add a slogan to your website. They also have this currency switcher, right? So they have social icons, they have contact info, or the currency switcher. So maybe social icons would be a little bit more appropriate, right? Here you have the area switcher. This will actually turn on and off the area switcher. So here you'll see that you can adjust things in square feet and also in square meters. So you can turn that on or off if you guys choose. Now the splash page is basically depreciated. I don't recommend using this option at all. So you can do all this with the page builder. So just ignore splash page. It's very outdated. Next, we have the login and register. So you guys can have the login and register on your websites. And if you guys do turn this on, you guys need to actually view your website logged out in order to see the changes. So I'll go ahead and visit the website here again. And here you'll see that if I click on this, it'll prompt us to log in and register. You guys can also change this to text as well, I think on the next options, but that's what that options is basically referring to. So here you'll see for the login and register, you guys can choose icon or text. And then you guys can go ahead and turn things on, like the first name, last name, phone number, right? Maybe first name, last name is appropriate. And then you guys can redirect to other pages. So you can redirect them after login to like a different page right here. Maybe here you can even link them to like the create a listing page, or you can link them to the dashboard page, right? If you guys are not sure, just use current page, and then they can always just log into the account when they're on the home page. Here you guys can display your terms and conditions page, right? And then you can also turn on the via Facebook login, and then also Google. If you guys do turn this on, you guys will need to have the credentials. And again, I recommend going to Fiverr here in order to have the developer set up the API for you. So all you gotta do is go to Fiverr and type in social login. And I do know how to do this, but unfortunately they keep changing the interface quite often. So you guys can pay these guys like 10 bucks, and they will literally set up the API for you guys. So they will need your Facebook API and also your Google API. And then they will go ahead and paste all that info here, and then people can log in with Facebook and Google on your websites. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so that is that. So next we have user rules, and if you guys do decide to have registration, you guys will need to actually turn this on. This will essentially allow people to register on your websites. And if they do register, what roles do you want to have them, available, right? So we can have buyer, right? You can have seller, and then you can have agency or agent or whatever, right? And then once they actually create an account, you can actually adjust the roles and then give them specific roles, right? And then here you can change the name of the actual roles if you want to, change them and stuff like that. So I'll go ahead and click on Save Changes. And then also I'll explain to you where those are located. So if you scroll down to the bottom over here under Users, and then at the top, I'll click on Add a New User. And let's say like someone wants to sell on your website. So this would be like John, right? John@AOL.com, right? And then you can make an account for John, and then here you can assign the role for John, right? So is he a agent? Is he a seller? Is he a buyer? Something like that. You can go ahead and assign those roles to John, and then they can also log into your account, log into the website, and then they can create a listing if we enable that in the theme options. Next, we have the price and currency. You guys can choose to enter in different currencies. Remember earlier how we set up the Thai bot? You guys can actually add your currency right here. And you can also add in currencies here. And then there's some other information about, short price, and then also the Indian currency format if you guys are using Indian currency. But you guys can create any currency that you guys want, and then you guys can list them right here. Next is typography. This actually does help with like the footer and also like the top bar and then the headings. So for example, if you want to change like the actual top bar font, you can do that right here, right? By picking a specific font, okay? Also, you can do the same thing for the footer. You can adjust the font, and then also for the heading text as well. And if we scroll up, we also have navigations. Now I believe navigations is actually the main menu right here. So it's this one right here. So let's just go ahead and test this out really quick. We'll change this to Dorsa. Right. I'll refresh the page, and there you go, right? So if you do want to change the font for the actual menu, you'll need to use this option right here. And then here is the body as well. So for the body, right, I'll click on search. And the body is referring to this text right here, right? So it's everywhere you basically have listings or on your property ad page, it'll affect all those. So over here, I'll just select some random one and I'll save it. And then I'll just refresh the page, and then you'll see the font has changed. Next is the styling. So here we have the styling where you guys can adjust the color. So notice over here how we have this green color scheme, and I also have this blue menu right here that we need to adjust, right? You guys can do all this right here. So the first one is the body, right? And this is essentially the body of the actual website. So you'll see it right here, right here. But what we can do is just basically change this color, right? To something like blue. Save changes. And the best way to learn how to change the color scheme is simply just tinker with the options. And then the same thing for the navigation bar, and we can go ahead and select the color here, right? Background color. Now let's refresh the page. All right, cool, we got that green we've been using throughout the website, right? So it goes back to that green. And then here you can adjust like the tabs color, the text color on hover, and so on and so forth, right? All right, so on your own free time, you guys will need to go through these options here, and you guys will have to go ahead and adjust the color, right? So this is pretty self-explanatory, right? So the advanced search, on your dashboard menu, we have property details, right? You guys can change like the color for the property details for the borders and the modules, right? And also for the featured label, which was this over here, if I click on the search. So here's the featured label as well. So you guys can adjust the color there to like something like blue, right? If you want to change that, then I'll refresh the page, and then you'll see it's blue, right? So yeah, I think you guys get it by now. So this is where you guys can adjust all the styling options for your website. So you guys will need to go through each one and adjust it to your specific liking, right? Now, if you guys do want to change like the actual layout for your website, here I'll go ahead and click on one of these properties. So we can actually adjust this in the back end of the property, but we can also set a global option. So that means every single property will have this specific style right here. So if I click on this one here and I refresh the page, you'll now see that the Brittany Watkins little pop-up notice pops up, and users can actually submit their listing right here. If I select another one, like I think this one's nice, right? Our colors are kind of wacky now, right? We got the green and the blue and the orange, ugh, right? So make sure you guys adjust those colors on your website. Here we go. We have this new landing page, right? Okay, so I'm gonna select this one here, right? Now this tab is actually pretty crucial. So earlier I showed you guys how you guys can change the layout for your actual content. So for example, we have tabs, right? So for the header, it's gonna use this specific style, and then it's also going to use tabs now. You see that? So this option right here is only referring to the content layout. So we have tabs vertical, right? And I don't know what these all look like, so you just gotta go through each one and just, here we got tabs like this, right? You can go that route, which is pretty cool, right? And it looks looking good. Now this option right here, I have no idea what it does. I looked everywhere through the documentation and I couldn't find where exactly this adjusts. So we're just gonna skip this one. Sorry, I looked everywhere. Their documentation sucks. Blame the developer, all right? Here's some other styling options for like the property content layout if you want it full width. You guys can also adjust like the detail section columns to 2 columns or to 3 columns or to 1 columns. And these are just other general styling options for the actual property page, right? So you guys can go ahead and check these out, right? Mess around with them and fiddle with them and see which one works best for you. Here we have the default layout manager. Now really quick, in order for this one to work, I have to take this out of the tabs, okay? So I need to change this to default, all right? So just to be clear, when you guys do this, it needs to be under general. So the tabs will actually not work for this specific setting, right? So here we have default, right? And now you'll see that we have certain ones enabled. So we have description, address, detail, right? We have description, address, details. If you guys want to rearrange this section, you guys can go ahead and do that right here. For example, if you want the features at the top, and then click on Save Changes. Now, where the description used to be, features will now be displayed. You see that? So this rearranges the actual areas where the property displays content on this actual page. And these right here are disabled, okay? So if you guys do want to actually enable these elements, you'll just drag them over here. So now we have Overview, Features, and Description. So now let me go over here and refresh the page. We have Overview, Features, and then Description. If you want to delete elements that you don't find necessary, like the calculator one, we can take out the calculator by putting it in the disabled column, and then they no longer work. So if I go over here and I scroll down, you're gonna see that the mortgage calculator is here, but if I refresh the page, it's going to disappear, right? Because this section will disable it, and then this section enables it, and then you can rearrange it. Now, if you guys do decide to change the layout manager to tabs, this is where you guys can rearrange the layout manager for the tabs. So for example, we'll go back to property detail, right? And if you do select tabs, like tabs vertical, then this option will start to apply. Okay, so tabs, features at the top, and then description at the bottom, and then click on Save Changes. You will then see that these will start to rearrange, okay? So I'll refresh the page. And now features is at the top, right? And then description here is at the bottom. So these are conditions if you guys select specific styles. And the same thing for the luxury homes. Then this specific style will be displayed for your actual property manager page. Here we have show hide data. You guys can choose to hide specific things like print property or status or labels, or you can even get rid of favorite property. So you guys can turn these on or off for the actual properties. AdSense spaces. If you guys want to turn your website into a spammy website and put ads, this is where you're going to put the advertisements, or you're going to put the HTML code, and then it'll propagate ads on your website. So next we have the schedule a tour, and this is where you can actually add time slots for the schedule tour on your property page. Now just remember, if you guys do want this, you actually need to go to the layout manager and turn this on, okay? So the schedule tour, you'll see I can go ahead and drag and drop it right here, right? And then save it. But going back over here to the schedule a tour, you guys can go ahead and enter any times you want right here. And then also, if they select it, you can redirect them to another page. This can be a thank you page. This can be any page that you would want. So let's go ahead and take a look at our page right here. I readjusted the page, hope you guys don't mind. So if we scroll down, you'll see that schedule a tour appears right here. They can do video chat or in person. You can pick a date, and then also the times based off the times that you've entered here. So next we have add a new property, and this is the section for the create a listing section. Now the first one is one step or multi-step. I definitely like one step better. So when people create a listing, it all shows on one specific page, right? All the options, you know, so they'll put everything in and they'll click on submit property, and that allows them to submit the property. If you guys do select multi-step, so for example, this is multi-step where they have to enter in their property or their description, they enter the price, and then they'll have to click on next, and then they're brought to like the media. They'll have to upload the media, and they'll click on next again and go to the next section. The next one is submitted listing approval. This will essentially make it so you have to actually approve the properties. So here you'll see there's a property listed as draft. You'll have to go and approve properties before they're listed on your website. You always want to approve what people are putting on your website. Same thing for edited listings and also reactivated listings. You always want to make sure someone approves this. So I'd put all those to yes. Here is multi-agents mode. If you guys do want to assign a property to multiple agents, you can turn that on. And then when you click on a property, you can assign a property to multiple agents. So for example, I have this property here, and if I scroll down to contact information, I can now add multiple agents. So I can add Daryl Wilson, Brittany Watkins, and all these other people to one specific property. So the next is multi-section. Essentially what this allows users to do is if you guys turn this on, they can go ahead and actually select multiple listings. So they can select commercial, apartments, and small business. And this applies to type. And then the next one is status and label. So if you guys do want the users to have the ability to select everything, you can do that. But if you want them to say, you know what, you only can select, one thing for your property, right? To make it a little bit more accurate, you can also go that route. And then below that, you have some general options, like you can change your website to square meters or square feet. You can turn auto propagate ID, and then some other settings right here. So I'll go ahead and click on Save Changes. So next we have the Layout Manager for when users add properties on your website. For example, here I'll click on Create a Listing. Now let's just assume that I'm just a random person coming to the website for the very first time. We have description, right? And then we also have price, okay? Over here, you'll see we have description and price. And then we have property media, right? So the next one is gonna be property media, right? Media. So you guys can actually rearrange this for users who post on your websites. You can also include attachments for your users. So if you want them to have the ability to upload documents on your website, you can do this for people who are trying to submit properties on your websites. You guys can also show and hide specific fields. If you don't want like septic tank showing, or you don't want these other options showing, you guys can hide these forms when users are submitting properties on your websites. Here you have the required forms. If you guys do want to make something required where they must fill out, you guys can actually check these right here. So for example, bedrooms should be, required. So should bathrooms, and so should the state, right? And the city, right? And yeah, I think those are, and the title, of course. I'll make these required for users who want to post on my websites. So now I'll click on Save Changes. All right, so now let's go ahead and click on Searches. So the next option is the header search, and this will actually display a navigation bar on your specific search page. So over here, you'll see that we have the search results page, and you'll see that we have this header here at the top. You guys can turn this off, or you guys can change it right here, right? And this only displays on the actual search page. Now, this is referring to if someone actually clicks on advanced, you can actually choose what you want to display. So they have the keyword city areas, and then here they have the keyword city areas, and then status type bedrooms, and then status type bedrooms, okay? So that is only if they actually select the advanced options, then you can use the search builder. Okay, makes sense? I would recommend to probably turn this off, right? I think it's more distracting, right? Because you want people to focus on the actual properties, right? Not the actual search bar here. So personally, I would disable it. I mean, if I were you guys, I would disable it, right? Because if it bothers me, it might bother other people too, right? Now the next is the doc search, and this will allow you guys to add in header maps and property sliders above your actual page. That looks something like this right here. So if you guys do turn this option on, you guys can, select these other various options where you guys can select. And then if you go over here to the page settings and you go to header type, this is where you guys can adjust it. So for example, here on my website, I actually have the property slider. And if I change that to something like property maps and then click on updates, and then you'll see that there's a map here now instead, right? Now you probably shouldn't put this on your home page, right? You could probably put this like on another page, right? So essentially it just adds a little doc search for specific pages. So this would be good for something like your agent's page or your property pages or something like that. And here you guys can enable different options for this page. So you guys can, choose it on only homepage. And then you guys can actually build it just like we built the other ones. You guys can use the search builder here and then have users search for specific things like here, keyword city status. You can enable those or disable those if you guys choose. So next we have the half map search. Now, just to be clear, so for the half map search to work, you first need to go over here to the search results page and you have to turn it on, right? So they did spell result wrong, right? I guess I got to fix that. So over here, you'll first need to select half map. Once you do that, then over here under searches, then you can design it, right? So then you can customize it. So these are options to basically customize the half map if you do have it enabled. And in this case, I do. So I'll just go ahead and walk you guys through this. So I'll refresh the page over here. And then I will do a quick search. Okay. And then you'll see the half map shows up, okay? And then you can choose to turn this on or off, right? And these are all the styling options that you guys will need if you guys do have half map search enabled. This is where you guys can take out the keywords or the cities or whatever, or you can take out the search. So if you don't want the search, we can just go ahead and put that one there instead, because I mean, this right here is a lot of junk, right? So let's go back over here and refresh the page, and let's just see what that's done. All right, so then you'll see like it gets rid of all those filters. It's a lot more cleaner, right? So yeah, you guys can go ahead and design the half map right here, okay? So the next one is the banner search, and this is another depreciated option. Essentially, if you guys choose to actually use the banner search elements, you can just basically create a search banner, but they've already created one for Elementor. So this is only if you guys are not using Elementor. This is more of a depreciated option, so I'm just gonna skip this because we don't need to use it. And then lastly, we have the settings pages. This is essentially adding filters for your search. So for example, you can have a drop down for city area, right? So over here, city is like a drop down, right? And then you can also exclude statuses. So if you want to like not show like foreclosures, or if you don't want to show pre-auctions in your search, you can go ahead and apply that as well, right? So these settings right here are just basically search filters for your actual search bar. So you guys will need to go to these options here, see which one applies to you. Here they have minimum price, maximum price, beds and bathrooms. So this is where you can assign how many bedroom list, the room list, if you guys do have those as search filters on your search bar, okay? So yeah, that is pretty much it for the searches, right? Then we have the search result page. Now this is basically if you guys have a search results page, what kind of search results page do you want? You can have a normal page, right? You can have a full width page, a left sidebar, or a right sidebar. So for example, if we change this to a full width page and then click on search, you'll see this is now a full width page, okay? So this option right here is just setting the search results page. Property layouts, this is essentially going to change the property layouts on your actual page. So if you guys do want a grid view, right? We'll go ahead and refresh the page here. Then you'll see it's a grid view, right? So this applies, so the search results page, this is the actual page, the layout, and then these are the property styles of how they display on your listing, okay? Makes sense? All right, cool. Next, we have the map settings. Now, this is where we can embed the Google Maps API, and I think they also have the OpenStreetMap API, right? Oh, no, I think Mapbox, right? They need an API, right? So for now, you guys can just use OpenStreetMap. It's a great way for you guys to display your map. We will integrate Google Maps API a little bit later, but for now, we'll just use OpenStreetMap. So if you guys have half map enabled, you guys can change the property type from list view to grid view and so on and so forth, okay? They probably should have put this in the search results page, right? Because here you can design, half map, right? But instead they put it down here, which can be very confusing at times because you might not know what you're actually changing, right? Listing options. So if you guys do have a listing or a grid, this is where you guys can also adjust the options for listing options. For example, you can take out the compare button. You can take out the preview button. You can take out the add to favorite button if you guys have the listing options available, right? And then over here, we have the composer. This essentially allows you to rearrange the items on the listing pages. For example, they have bedroom, bath, garage, area, right? We have bedroom, bath, garage, area. So you can rearrange these if you want. Since this is a listing, you'll see that it'll actually change right here. See that? So, but this is only because we have the listing search results available. Make sense? Okay. I know this can be a little confusing, but you have to kind of get in the developer's mindset of how he wants you to change this, right? So I'm just the middle guy here, right? But the thing is, you can't customize everything, but the way you can customize it at times does seem a little bit awkward. So the next is the taxonomies layouts. And this is essentially if people actually click on a category on your website, you guys can also change the layout for that specific page. So for example, I'll put the sidebar on the left side, right? And we'll have to click on one of these taxonomies, right? So let's go ahead and find one. Here, I'll go ahead and click on the actual property, right? And then here we have our taxonomies. So I'll go ahead and click on enterprise. Here you're gonna see that this will show all the properties under enterprise. And this is what this page is referring to, is the actual taxonomy page. So if you wanna have a full width page, and I refresh the page, you'll see now this is full width. So the taxonomies is pretty important if you guys want to adjust the style on the taxonomy pages. All right, next we have the contact forms. Now the contact forms will display on various parts of your website if you have the template sets. So here we have the property page. So for example, on the property page, you guys can turn this on or off, right? So over here, I'll disable this and I will, or I'm sorry, we have to put this one disabled because we have a sidebar, right? And over here, you'll see that we have the agent. And if I refresh the page, you guys will see the agent is now gone, right? And just remember, we are using the Houzez custom form. We're not using these other forms, okay? So yeah, it's a small option to add, but you guys can always turn that on or off. So next we have the Google reCAPTCHA. I'll go ahead and turn this on, and I'm gonna copy this link in a new tab right here, right? And this is actually a lot simpler. They've made it really easy to add reCAPTCHAs now. So I'm gonna go ahead and log into my Gmail account. So once you guys log into your Gmail account, it'll bring you to like a Google reCAPTCHA, and all you gotta do right here is just click on Create, and we're just going to enter in the website. So over here, Daryl Wilson tutorial, we'll go paste that in there. And here we have different reCAPTCHAs, right? We have version 3 and then version 2. So this one's with a score and this one's with a challenge. But I'll just go ahead and just leave it as version 3. Here I'll add in my domain. So for domains, I'll put in www dot, okay. And there you go. And all you gotta do is just copy this credential and then put it on your websites. So over here, we'll take the site key and paste it there. And then we'll put the secret key and then we'll paste it there. This will dramatically reduce the spam. So I do recommend that you guys do this, right? And then click Save Changes. And then it'll add that little Google reCAPTCHA logo to your website. It'll add this right here on your website, right? And this will really help you guys reduce spam. It's a great thing to add. So next we have memberships, and I'll come back to memberships a little bit later in this video. Here we can go ahead and enable a free membership, a per listing, or a membership, okay? But we'll come back to this a little bit later, right? This isn't for everyone, so we'll leave that towards the end. So next we have the email management, and this is actually very important if you guys do want to adjust the email heading on your emails that are being sent from your websites. So here you can upload your own logo, you can change the background color, and then here you can also adjust the footer. And then below that we have the social links, and these will display at the bottom of your email. The only issue is that they don't have a preview email thing, so I can't really show you guys an example of this because they don't have an option for preview. But if you guys do have people purchasing listings on your website, you might want to adjust this because they will see this information when they get a confirmation about their listing. Next, we have the 404 page. So if someone enters something in wrong on your website, a 404 will display, right? And here you can basically edit the content. So, oh no, page not found. You guys can go ahead and over here and just update the content. Are you lost? See, are you lost? And over here, if I refresh the page, you'll see it says, are you lost? And then they can just go back to the home page. But you can adjust the text here just in case you want to redirect them back to your home page. So next we have the footer, and this is actually pretty important. So we can go ahead and adjust the footer. So if we want a full width layout, he'll hit on refresh. You'll see it's a full width layout, right? And then we have, I guess this, you can tell what this is, right? It's like a 2 column, but this one's a lot larger. So we can see what that does, right? And then here we can have many columns, right? Many columns. Oops, refresh the page. Okay. And yeah, there's also, you guys can upload a logo right here. So I'll throw in a logo, all right? And then here we can adjust the text. So we have the copyright, the Facebook, and then all this other information you guys can adjust right here, right? So yeah, you guys can go ahead here and adjust the versions of your footer as well. So version 2, let's take a look at that right there, right? And again, you know, the only way to really learn all this, guys, is just to really change the versions and just mess with the options. But if you guys actually want to change the elements there, you'll need to go to the widgets section. So let's go ahead and go to the widgets. We'll find the widgets over here under appearance, and then we'll click on widgets. Okay. So we'll go ahead and scroll down here. And now we have footer area 1, right? Footer area 1, you guys can see that this section right here is controlling footer area 1. here we have footer area 2, which is discover, and it's this section here, right? So here I'll put something like Daryl Wilson Real Estate is a scam company that is bad. Okay. And then for the title, we'll put like about us, right? All right. And then for the footer area 2, so this is the house's property taxonomies, but you guys can add in your own, right? So if you guys want to add in something else here, we can add in different elements here, right? We can add in more houses elements, right? Maybe featured properties. And there we go. So that's what it'll look like for the footer area 2. And then we can go over here to footer area 3. We'll just skip that one and we'll put something for footer area 4. And then tell you what, we'll put in some properties instead. So we're gonna throw in some houses properties. So we'll just do featured properties, right? And we'll show 5 and we'll show them as a list. And then I'll click on update and I'll take a look at our website. Okay, so you'll see here how we are actually missing the featured properties, but that's a quick fix. But you'll see right here we have the about us, the discover, and then we have the widget underneath that because this is column 2, and then we have lifestyle. This didn't propagate because we probably need to add 4 columns under the settings, right? So let's go back over here to the theme options, and we're gonna scroll down to we'll scroll down to the footer. And here you'll see we need to actually select 4 columns, right? So we only have 3. So footer area 4 will display nothing. So now that I've set 4, if I go over here and I refresh the page, you'll see that the properties now display, right? And I actually chose to display 5, and I think that's maybe too big. I probably should have put something like the slider, you know, because this is like this is kind of large here, right? It's kind of a large footer. So under the footer area 4, I'll change this to a slider instead. And I think that'll actually reduce all that space. So now I'll refresh the page. And there you go. Now we have a slider where users can go ahead and slide here on the bottom of the website. So that is pretty much the footer summed up. You guys can go ahead and adjust it. You guys can change the style and add in any elements you guys want for the footer of your websites. And the last one that's actually pretty important is the optimization. So you guys can actually turn some of these on, and this will actually make your website a little bit faster where you guys can minify the JavaScript. I'll turn this one on, the CSS as well. So I do think lazy load is probably the most important one here. Essentially what lazy load does is lazy load will only load the images on the actual server if the user scrolls down. So some websites, if you go to the website, it starts to load everything right away, which can result in a lot of server strain, right? But lazy load will actually only load images if a user scrolls down. So I'm gonna scroll down really fast here, and you're gonna see that some of the images will fade in, right? You see how they fade in like that? How it's fading in? See that? So because of that, that's what lazy load is, and it just basically reduces strain on the server. So I do recommend to set these options for the optimization section in the theme customizer. And guys, that is pretty much it for the general options with the theme customizer. On your own free time, feel free to go through some of these, adjust them to your liking. But overall, we went through all of the theme options right here. There were some like custom code and import that I didn't go over, but I don't really want to get into that because most of you guys are not custom coders or developers. Okay, so in this part of the video, I'm gonna quickly show you guys how to make your website fast. Now, if you guys run your website through the Google PageSpeed Insights, you guys might notice that you guys might have a low performance grade. You'll see right here for mobile, we have 51, and then over here for desktop, we have a 76. Now, we can install a free plugin that'll fully optimize your website, including the images, the JavaScript, and the CSS. So I'll walk you guys through how to make your website fast so people won't have a bad experience on your websites. The first thing you'll do is go over here to plugins and go to add new. And we're going to install a free plugin called NitroPack. So right here, we'll type it in, NitroPack. And here's the plugin that we're going to install. It is NitroPack. So this will go ahead and cache your website. It'll optimize all the images, defer the CSS and the JavaScript as well. It'll also implement lazy load on your website. And that means images won't load not unless they're necessary. So right here, we'll click on install now, and then we'll click on activate. Once you guys do that, you guys also need to disable the Lightspeed cache plugin if you guys do have this installed on your websites. So if you guys do have another caching plugin, you guys will need to disable that plugin. So for the Lightspeed cache, I'm going to click on deactivate. All right. Now we're going to scroll down right here, and under NitroPack, let's click on settings. So now we're going to connect NitroPack with WordPress. So right here, I'll click on connect. Now you guys will need to make a free account with NitroPack. If you guys already do have an account, you guys can just go ahead and log in. So right here, I'll go ahead and log in with my account. So right here, I'll go ahead and log in. Okay, so here is my site URL. Here we'll give our website a name. So we'll just go ahead and put in like, Daryl Real Estate. We are using WordPress. For right now, you guys can just select the free one right here. Now, once your site gets a lot of traffic, like more than 50,000 views, which is a lot, then you have to upgrade to the pro, right? But if you guys are just like getting started out, this will do just fine. So right here, I'll select the free, and then I'll click on add. And literally, that is all we have to do. So you'll see right here how it is going to optimize our websites. Right here, I'll go ahead and dismiss this. Now, it will take a little bit to optimize your full website. So just give it like maybe 5 or 6 minutes or something like that. And then it'll fully optimize the entire websites. Now, what we can do right here is right here, let's click on Go to App. And this is going to open up the NitroPack website. Okay, so this is the NitroPack dashboard, and this is where you guys can get all of the analytics for your websites. So you'll see right now how we have no page views. We're on a free subscription. They'll let you guys know how many page views that you guys get. Right here, let's go ahead and click on Cache Insights. Now, what you guys can do right here is click on Purge Cache, and then you guys can purge all of your cache. And this will purge the HTML, the JavaScript, CSS, the fonts, and also the images as well. So here we have the general settings, and we have a few different optimization modes. Now, depending on the optimization mode, this will have more strain on your server. But if you guys have good web hosting, there is no reason to worry. So I have mine on ludicrous, and what this is going to do, it's going to defer all of the JavaScript and all of the advanced resources. If you guys find that you're using too many resources, you guys can always downgrade to like standard or medium or strong. But that is pretty much it, right? Here we have the images and media. And by default, lazy load is activated. So it's essentially going to optimize all of the images on your website. It's going to add lazy load, and it's also going to defer JavaScript and everything else right here. Now, if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. There is no reason to implement or adjust any of these settings because the developers did a really good job at setting the necessary options. So even complete beginners don't need to know everything about the optimization. So now that we implemented this plugin, now let's go ahead and retest our websites. So you guys are going to see that we have a 51 on mobile and a 76 on desktop. But let's go ahead and rerun this test. I'll go ahead and scroll up right here and click on Analyze. And look at that. We now have a 97% performance grade on desktop. And for mobile, we got an 83. Right? It's still a win, right? So we've overall improved the page speed of our websites. Over here, if you guys go over to the NitroPack, if you guys ran like a test and you guys got a low score, you guys are going to see under the Cache Insights right here that it does need to actually load up and it needs to optimize all of the pages. So as of right now, making this video, it is optimizing every single page. So it does take maybe 3 to 5 minutes. So just give it like a little bit of time and then run it through Google PageSpeed Insights, and you guys will have an A page speed score with the Google PageSpeed Insights. So if you guys do have any questions about NitroPack, you guys can always go to their website. You guys are already going to see right now the website's loading faster. If I scroll down, you guys are going to see that images do actually sort of fade in like that, and that's from the plugin. So essentially what it's doing here is it's not going to load everything on your website, not unless people actually scroll down, right? Because there's no reason to load all that stuff, right? Because it's just a lot of strain on your server. So that's what the NitroPack plugin does. Let's go ahead and take a look at their website. So this is the NitroPack website, and let's go ahead and take a look at their pricing over here. So let's go ahead and take a look at these plans. Now, I'll be honest, NitroPack is very generous. So the only time you guys will have to upgrade is if your website is getting more than 50,000 page views a month, which is a lot of page views, right? I've actually met these guys in real life, and they've actually been really generous by giving you guys a free plugin that fully optimizes your website. And you guys don't have to pay anything. It's completely free. So if you guys do actually want to upgrade to their business, their growth, or their scale, obviously, once you guys get more traffic, I'll leave a link to this website in the description below, along with a coupon code if you guys decide to go with NitroPack. But overall, it's an amazing service, and I think you guys should add this on every website you guys build with WordPress. All right, party people, in this part of the video, I'll be showing you guys how to integrate the Google Maps API and also the Mapbox API as well. So Elementor does have elements where you guys can embed Google Maps, but you'll see that if we add it in here, it just says, oops, something's went wrong because we don't have the API on the actual website. You guys can also add this on the search bar right here for the geolocate option, and you can also add it on your property ad page if you want to display Google Maps. So I'll show you guys how to integrate both Google Maps and also Mapbox as well. So let's go over here to our dashboard. Next, we're going to click on Theme Options. Okay, and we're gonna scroll down and we're gonna find the option for map settings. So click on map settings. So there's 3 different options, right? You have OpenStreetMap, Mapbox, and Google. OpenStreetMap is also a great free alternative. It displays the maps, it shows locations on the map, and it's really good. It's really accurate. The next one is Mapbox. Mapbox is actually a free service, but once you go over a certain threshold, they will then start to charge you guys. So all you need to do right here is just click on the link to go to mapbox.com, and all you have to do is just make a free account. That's it. Just make an account and it'll bring you to this page right here. Once you go to this page, all you got to do is just copy and paste this and just paste it in the map API key and you're done. Like, it's super easy. And this is free, so it doesn't cost anything whatsoever. But again, once you go over a certain threshold, it will then charge you. So that's just something to be aware about. If you go over here to the pricing, you know, they're very generous too. You'll see, like, if it's more than like, let's see right here. If it's more than like 100,000 like visitors or something, it'll then charge you like, you know, per month. But I think most of us will probably be under that, right? Unless you guys are like huge companies, right? Then you'll have to pay. But yeah, so that's how you guys can integrate the Mapbox. Really simple, right? And then there's these options right here where you can put like marker or price pins. And then there's some other general options for the Mapbox. The next one is Google Maps API. Now, Google Maps API does charge you guys, just to be very clear. So you guys will need to have a credit card and you guys will need to actually have a Gmail account already. Now, all you'll need to do is go ahead and click on this link right here, or it says here. I have tons of Google Map API keys. I have like probably like 50 of them. So it'll bring you to this page right here. And what we're gonna do is right here, I'll click on Get Started. Now, in order to get to this page, you must have a credit card linked to your Gmail accounts. And it'll tell you to actually create a project here on the left side. So I've already created a project. You'll see there are various projects I have. So you'll just go ahead and create a project. And once you do create a project, it'll bring you right back here. On the left side, you're gonna see Maps and API Services. So click on APIs and Services. And here we have Maps. I'll click on Maps. And this is the one that you guys need right here. It's called Maps JavaScript API. You'll see I already have it enabled, right? But what I'll do over here is I'll just go ahead and disable it and then just re-enable it. Okay, once that's done, we're then gonna go over here to keys and credentials, and then we're gonna create a credential. So right here, create credentials, and then I'll create an API key. All right, cool. So we have our API. I'll copy this, and then I'll close it. Let's go over here and go back to our website, and then we're just gonna paste that in there. All right, we'll paste it in there. Click on Save Changes. All right, cool. So that's it. We've integrated Google Maps. You guys can also adjust this from roadmap to satellite to different options using the theme options, which is pretty cool. Now, in order to see if this is working or not, all you got to do is go to your website and then apply the Elementor Google Maps option. So I'm going to scroll down right here and look at that. We now have our map and it is propagating. Really cool. All right, so we'll go ahead and scroll down. And you're gonna see that we have the Google Maps, so the Google Maps element. In order to access this, just type in Google Maps, right? Google Maps. And you wanna make sure it's the houses element, so properties Google Map. And then you'll click on this, and then here you can add in different types, right? You can add in all of the properties, right? You can put a number of properties. You can add in the ones with the states, right? Or the cities. And you can add in the ones with the labels. And then those properties will then propagate right here on this specific map. The only drawback is that you guys will have to actually, close it and open it because it doesn't display in the back end, right? And then here's map type. We can change the map type, and then there's other options right here. All right, pretty cool. All right, and if we scroll down, we now have the Google Map right here. So you'll go to the filter options and then apply whatever you guys want for your Google Maps. But it is working right now. The next one is the geolocate option. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn on the builder and then we're going to activate the geolocate option. So here is the actual search filter, and here you'll see I've already entered in location. So under the field, we can now enter in geolocate, and they will actually go ahead and geolocate wherever we are, and it'll tell us right here in the search bar, right? It'll tell us like where we are and stuff like that. So you guys can add this as well. So now that you do have this activated, you can add in geolocate. I believe radius as well. I'm actually not sure about radius. Oh, no, radius is for the actual distance. So no, just geolocates, right? And then over here under location, I'll type in Las Vegas, right? And then you'll see how it says powered by Google, right? And now we can pick specific cities and have Google propagate everything for your visitors, which is very convenient, right? Here I'll put Florida. You'll see how it says powered by Google, and we can go ahead and click on it and so on and so forth, right? Pretty cool. Now the last one was the map on the actual property ad page. So what we can do here is we can go ahead and also scroll down here. So now you'll see that the Google Maps is not working right here. So we've integrated it, and it's now using Google Maps on our websites. Pretty cool. So that's how you guys can integrate the Google Maps and also those other APIs. If you guys do have any questions for me, or if you guys need help, feel free also to go to Fiverr.com. Fiverr.com, they can go ahead and integrate the API for you, just in case you guys had any problems. With that said, let's move on to the next section. Okay, so in this part of the video, we're gonna be covering the CRM and also a little bit about monetization. The CRM allows your agents to log into your website where they can create listings, they can answer messages, and they can also view their invoices. The monetization option allows users to pay you to post specific properties on your website. There's various ways on how you can approach it, so I'll cover some of those in the video. With that said, let's jump back to the video. All right, party people, in this part of the video, we're gonna go over the CRM, and we're also gonna talk about employee login and also letting other users log in on your website. We'll then also be talking about packages and also price integration. So we're gonna cover everything about users logging into your website and so on and so forth, all right? Now, before we even go there, we need to actually turn on or turn off some options. Now, depending on what you guys want for your websites, if you want users only, like your staff, to log into your website, you need to make sure that under the general settings, you guys have this right here turned off, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create manual accounts for our employees, and we need to make sure that this is off. So if this is on, that means anyone can register. So you need to make sure this is off, right? Now over here, you're gonna see users. Let's click on all users. So let's say you have an employee, right? You need to make an account for your employee. So we're gonna make an account for Paddywhack, right? So here we go, we got Paddywhack. Paddywhack's email is paddywhack@aol.com. And then we're gonna put her information, right? Patty Wilson. And then we're gonna send the new user an email about their account. And for the role, we're gonna put agent, because she's now an agent for the actual company, right? So then I'll click on add new user. Okay, so there we go. We got Paddywhack here. And we can make another one, right? So we can also add in another person right here. So we'll add in John. So with this credentials right here, these users can actually log in on the website. So for example, I'm gonna put John here, right? And we can actually log in as a new user as John, okay? So I'll click on add a new user. All right, so let's go ahead and log in now with John's new account. So I'll open this up in a new browser. Okay, so John is coming to the website because you told him to come here, and we're gonna click on this little login, right? So they can choose to register, but you see here how it's disabled because we disabled registration, so people can only log in. So we're gonna log in with John, right? And then click on login. Okay. Now we can choose to redirect people to the actual dashboard. Remember earlier that's in the theme options, but they can always just click over here and then just access their dashboard. So now John has full access to the CRM. So John can go ahead and look at the activities. He can look at the insights. He can look at all this information. He can even create his own listing right here. So John now has the ability to create his own listings, right? Now, if you guys do want John to have full access to the website like us, we can give him an admin role. So over here, if I go to role and we do the admin, which is the administrator, this user will now have access to the page builder, to the house's theme options, and so on and so forth. So these are just basically like options where you can assign them specific roles, but administrator gives them the option to actually design the websites. So this is something that you might want to give to someone you trust, like a web designer, or to like your closest staff. Now, before we go on any further, I do want to just let you guys know that the login and register option is here under the theme options, and this will actually display on the header. So you guys can choose this display on the header right here. You see that? However, there is actually a module that you guys can use, and you guys can create a whole nother page if you guys want to go that route. I'll go ahead and put login and register, right? And I'll go ahead and click on publish, and then I'll turn on the Elementor page builder. So right here, what I can do is I can just actually use the elements. So Houzez does have his own login and register. So I think login, right? So login module, right? And I'll just show this as text. So it's a really small one, right? Login and register. I think there's another one here. So let's see the Elementor one actually. This one might be better. Yeah, I think this one's actually better, you know? So with this one right here, users can actually make an account and they can register. So you guys can always use this right here if you guys want to just have this as a private register and login page for your customers. I'm sorry, for your staff. So what I'll do over here is I'll click on view page. So then you'll see right here how it says login and register, and you guys can just give this to your employees in case you don't want to have people access to the login on the actual website. All right, and then they can go ahead and log in right here. You'll just take this permalink and you'll just put it anywhere on the website, like on the footer or something, somewhere where it's not obvious to visitors so that your users can log into the website. So now let's say, okay, well, let's go ahead and have anyone register. So you'll see here how this says this is disabled. We can go ahead and reactivate that. So let's go ahead and turn on registration. Okay, let's go back to dashboard. And then over here, I'll go to settings and general. So now we're gonna let anyone register on the website, right? So by clicking this, scrolling to the bottom. Now we're gonna go over here to our other tab, and then we're gonna refresh the page, right? So I'll go over here and I'll refresh the page, and then I'll click on register. You'll now see anyone has the option to register on your website. So they have the first name, last name, username, email, and then also the type of account right here, right? So you guys can also let users register on your website by just enabling that option. So once the user actually signs in onto your website, they can now go ahead and enter in all the information about the property. And the information they can enter is based off whatever we added in the backend for the admin, right? So you'll see here for like enterprise, small business, they can only select what we create for them. So you'll see here that, for example, details, you'll see here that they can enter all this info. Additional details, they can also add in additional details. The features, like we created earlier, property documents, locations, and then also here we've integrated the Google Maps API now, so they can go ahead and enter their latitude and longitude. And if we scroll down, you'll see the plan title and all this information, right? So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna enter in some demo content, submit the property, and then I'll show you how to approve listings once users submit them. And then you'll see now this is pending, right? So we now have to wait for the admin to approve it. So let's take a look at where this shows up. All right, so I'm over here under my admin accounts, and if I go over here to real estate and then click on properties, you're gonna now see Jenny has her property pending, and you'll see right here how this says pending approval. So all you gotta do is just go ahead and click on edit, and then you can approve it for your website. So over here, all you gotta do now is click on publish and publish, and that will approve the property. So that's how you guys can allow users and staff to submit properties on your website. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. All right, so in this part of the video, I'll be showing you guys how you guys can create memberships for your websites. We'll then go ahead and integrate payment gateways onto the websites where we can accept payments and credit cards on the website. Now under theme options, over here, let's click on memberships. So there's two different ways we can make money right here. We can make it free, pay for featured, per listing, and also membership. If you want users to pay per listing, we can go ahead and set that here, right? And then we have options to charge like basically how much money it's gonna cost. We can set an expiration date and so on and so forth. So I'll put like this will expire in maybe 30 days, right? The price is $5. And if they wanna make it featured, it's $2 right there, right? And here we have PayPal, Stripe, and checkout, but we'll go ahead and just leave it as sandbox for now. Here we're gonna put in our terms and conditions page. So you guys might wanna make a terms and conditions page and then assign it, right? So by doing this, you guys can have a per listing style, right? You guys can also do membership as well. Membership is basically the same thing where you can have users post as much as they want, right? And then you can also turn on recurring payments where they can pay you like monthly or weekly and so on and so forth. You can also just do free and then have them pay for featured, which means the property will display at the top where people can see it the most. But I think most people would probably do per listing, right? Or even free. I don't think people do memberships. You know, I don't think any website does that, but hey, it's your business, right? So what I'll do here is click on Save Changes. So now users will have to pay in order to submit property on our websites. But we first need to integrate payment gateways. So to do that, let's go ahead and scroll down right here. And we're going to find the payment gateways. And here we have the PayPal payment gateway. So you guys will need to enable this, and then you guys will have to enter in your client ID, your secret ID, and then also your email. Okay, so this is paypal.com, and this is my PayPal account. Now, you guys will need to have a business PayPal account in order for this to work. And I'll go ahead and leave the exact link of where you guys need this information. So this is the developer.paypal.com right here. And all we got to do is you'll go ahead and first click on the link in the description. You'll log into your account, and then you'll click on apps and credentials. Right here, you'll click on create an app, and then just give this app a name. So this is the Houzez theme. And then we'll go ahead and click on merchant and click on create app. All right, cool. So that's pretty much it. We have our client ID. I'll go ahead and copy this, and we'll go back over here. All right, so we'll then go ahead and paste in the client ID, right? And then also we need the secret key. So I'll go ahead and first close that. We'll go ahead and show this, and then I'll also copy this as well, and then I'll paste it in here. And then you wanna make sure that you enter in your email for PayPal. So mine is mrwilson@email.com. And then I'll click on Save Changes. And that's it. So now PayPal is fully integrated on your websites. Now, PayPal is a good option, but a better option is Stripe. So we're also going to integrate Stripe.com. Stripe.com is a free service. I personally use this for my business, and you'll see that we have like tons of payments, and we're getting a lot of payments from our website and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is we are going to also integrate Stripe.com. Stripe.com is a free service. It has no credit check whatsoever. It is a great way to start out if you guys are getting in the e-commerce realm or selling online. So we're also going to integrate Stripe, which are the two most popular payment gateways, I think right now. Yeah, I think they're, maybe Square is more popular, but I don't know. No one really uses that too much. And all we're going to do is find our secret key and our publishable key. So let's go back over here to our Stripe accounts. Over here, I'll click on developers, API keys, and then right here, I'll click on create a secret key. All right, I'll give my secret key a name. So I'll put Houzez theme. I'll create it. And this is my new secret key. Okay. I'll go ahead and paste the secret key right here. And then also I will go ahead and copy and paste the publishable key right here as well, and then click on save. And that is it. We have now fully integrated Stripe. Okay, so now that we've integrated both of these payment gateways, there's one more step we need to do. We need to actually create the page for the Stripe and the PayPal payments. So up here, I'll click on plus new and page. So remember earlier in the video, we talked about templates. We now need to create a template for the actual payment page. So you'll see Stripe charge page, and then also we have payment page for PayPal. So let's just go ahead and make all of them, right? We're first gonna start off by the payment page, right? Payment page. Whoops, all right, payment page. Okay, and then we're gonna add a new one, right? So we'll create another one. It's gonna be the next one, right? So we have payment page. We also have PayPal webhook. So PayPal webhook. This is essentially if you guys are gonna do like memberships, right? But I'm just gonna add all of them just in case like nothing breaks or something like that, So, all right, add another page. And then for the next one, we are now going to do, let's see here, we got Stripe charge page, right? Stripe charge page. I'll click on publish and publish. And then I'll add another page. The thank you and process complete, right? Thank you page. Then I'll click on publish and publish. And I believe we also need the memberships. So let's just add in this other one. So over here under templates, I think we also need to add in this last one right here. We'll go ahead and also add in the packages, right? And then click on publish and publish. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. So now we can actually run a test transaction, right? So now let's go ahead and imagine that we're a new visitor for the very first time, and let's go through the process of how your customers will purchase on your website. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and log in. Now I'm Jenny Craig. Remember, don't forget, I'm Jenny Craig. So I'm gonna log in right here. And Jenny wants to list a property. So over here, I'll click on create a listing. Now what I'm gonna do here is I'll go ahead and just create a demo property and then show you what happens on the next page. All right, so I went ahead and I put in some information here, and now I'll click on submit property. Right away, you guys are gonna see that they're brought to this page right here where they have to pay with PayPal and also Stripe. So we can select either one. So what I'm gonna do here is click on Stripe and then click on complete payment. This will then bring people where they actually have to pay us with a real credit card. So I'm actually gonna use my real credit card here and then check out on this website. And just like that, we're brought to our thank you page. You'll see here how there's just demo contents, but you guys can go ahead and redesign this and decorate this in the theme options of the Houzez theme options. So right here, I'll then click on go to dashboard. And that's it. You guys are gonna see that these are now pending right here. So you'll see that this one is pending, right? We paid for this one, right? And on the other one, we have not paid for this, so it has the pay now option. So users can always pay later if they want to, and this will actually be pending approval in your account. So now as an admin, all I gotta do over here is going over to dashboard and then go over here to the listings, right, under properties. And then you'll see that this is pending. So they've already paid for this, so I'll go ahead and click on edit right here, and then I'll just approve it, right? Because they've already paid for it. So up the top, I'll click on publish and publish. And that's it. The user has now successfully submitted the property and also paid us. We can actually check the backend over here under invoices, and it'll display in the backend too. So you'll see that this person has paid. Jenny has paid right here, and here is their invoice. So then under invoices, you're gonna see price for $5, and this status is paid. We can even double check this by checking the Stripe account. All right, party people, that is pretty much it for the CRM overview about the employee and customer login. If you guys have any questions about payment gateways or packages, let me know in the comments below. And with that said, let's move on to the next section. So in this part of the video, let me quickly show you guys how to re-import demos onto the websites. Now there's two ways to do this, and I'll give you the recommended way and then the optional way. So over here under the Houzez, if you click on demo import, you guys can go ahead and re-import any of these demos. So you can re-import this one, and this one. However, the only caveat is that it's going to create all the pages also for that other demo, which could result in a lot of duplicate pages and also a really large menu. For example, I'll just go ahead and import one of these just to give you a demonstration. So I'll click on import demo, and then I'll import this one. And the same thing like before, we'll go over here and click on the customize, and we'll assign the home page to our actual home page. So over here, homepage settings, and then we're going to find the home page. So you guys see right here how there's two home pages. So if you guys do re-import demos, just know that you guys will have to delete the other pages from the other demos. So I'll go ahead and close this. All right, so we have the menu up here, right? And then we have, I guess, this right here, this login. If we scroll down, you guys will see the website imported correctly, but this part right here is sort of glitchy, as you can tell. Now, this does happen because the server is actually carrying bits and parts of the other templates. So what I recommend is to actually do a hard reset on your website and then re-import the demo. So let me show you guys how to do that. Let's go over here to plugins and click on add new plugin. Now just remember, if you guys do re-import the demo this way, you will reset your entire website. So you're gonna delete everything and start over from scratch. This is good if you guys are like just beginning, right? But if this is like a live website with a lot of stuff on it, I do not recommend doing this because you're going to basically delete and reset your entire website. So you'll go ahead and activate this plugin right here, WP Resets. And then once you guys do that, on the bottom left, you're gonna see tools and then click on WP Reset. Here's a little pop-up banner. I'm just gonna close that. Now I'm gonna scroll down and I'm just gonna type in reset right here under site resets. I'll go ahead and reset. I'll click on reset sites and then click on reset WordPress. All right, so the website has been reset. And if I click on visit sites, you'll see it is now back to its original factory settings. So now what we can do is reinstall the Houzez theme and then re-import the demo. So over here, appearance, themes. I'll activate the theme because it's still in our themes. And now I want to re-enter the purchase code. Now I'll go ahead and activate the plugins again. So I'll go ahead and activate all the plugins. Here we have this pop-up notice again. I'll just go ahead and skip this. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over here to the houses and then just click on demo import. Now we're gonna scroll down and now we are going to re-import that same demo. So right here, houses 6, import demo. I'll scroll down here and then I'll click on continue and import. All right, and then I'll click on visit site. All right, and it looks like we're brought to the blog page, right? So all we need to do is assign the home page to our home page in the theme options. So home page settings, home page, and then I'll select home page. And then also for the post page, I'll select blog and then click on publish. And look at that. If we scroll down, you'll see that everything looks great. And then it's not buggy anymore. You can tell that when you go from demo to demo, it does carry a lot of the settings sometimes and it's hard to actually fix it. That's why I just recommend to do like a hard reset where you can just reset the website and start over from scratch. And everything looks great and the demo imported successfully. So that's how you guys can re-import a demo. I definitely recommend to reset the website if you want to switch between demo to demo. Now there's also one thing I do want to mention that is a known bug. If you guys actually import a demo and you search for a specific template, and if you actually click on one of these demos and this page comes out weird like this is a very quick fix. All you got to do is go in your theme options and assign the property ad page and then that will go away. That was the only glitch and bug that I found personally that was consistent. So all I'll do is I'll go down here to property detail. I'll go ahead and select a template. I'll select this one here. Click on save changes and that will remove the bug. So let's go back to visit site. Same thing, I'll do a quick search. I'll scroll down, I'll click on a property. So then you guys will see the property page propagates and everything looks good. So that was one bug that I saw when I was importing demos. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about importing demos or if there's anything else that you guys want to know about it, let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to help you guys out. All right guys, so in this part of the video, I'll be showing you guys some MLS IDX websites that can help you integrate MLS IDX onto your websites. The first one is contempothemes.com. So this website actually has their own IDX plugin that they've created from scratch. Over here under pricing, you'll see that the IDX is about $79 a month and you guys can go ahead and purchase this. The great part about this company is that on the bottom right, you can go ahead and email the owner and they will integrate it for you, right? Now, IDX is a monthly service and this is standard across all industries. So don't think like, oh, I have to pay monthly. Every website has to pay for it because it's a service that's continuous. So you guys can go ahead and reach out to them. Their IDX costs $79 and I believe it supports more than 650 MLSs, okay? So contempothemes.com is a good choice. You guys can check out the description as well. There is links to all these websites in the description. The next one is Realtina. Now they actually have an integration specifically for the theme that we are using. So over here under products, MLS IDX, MLS integration, you'll see they have one for houses. So MLS for houses. I'll click on this link here and then it'll take you to this page where they can actually sync this with the houses theme. So here you'll see that the Realtina plugin works specifically for the houses theme. You guys can always give them a phone call as well. If you guys have any questions or concerns, these guys can fully integrate the IDX MLS for you from Realtina. The next one is IDX Broker. Over here, I'll click on plans and pricing, and these guys can also integrate the MLS for you guys as well. So it looks like here they have two plans, right? They have the light plan and they also have the platinum plan. I'm not really sure the difference between both. I think you guys know more about this than I do personally if you guys are brokers, but it looks like here they will do all of the work for you guys. I believe they have a one-time setup fee. Yeah, there is a one-time setup fee. So you might want to give them a call here and just tell them that you found this video on YouTube and that you want them to integrate it. These guys should know about the houses theme. I'm pretty sure they do, right? It is the #1 most popular real estate theme for WordPress. So go ahead and give them a call. You guys can call them on the phone number or also on the bottom right here where you guys can send them an email. All right, party people, welcome to section 2. Well, kind of like section 2, right? We had a lot of sections, but in this part of the video, we're gonna walk you guys through how to convert this website into a real estate directory website. So what we're gonna do here is, now that we understand the basics of how to use this WordPress theme, we're then going to reset our website and we're gonna focus more on the directory part of this tutorial. So in this part of the video, we're going to show you guys how to turn our website into a full-on real estate directory website. You guys ready? Let's go. All right, party people. So now that we understand the basics and the fundamentals of using the Houzez theme, now let's convert this into a real estate directory website. Now, we're gonna go ahead and reset this website and start over from scratch just to make sure the demo import works successfully. So over here on the left side, you're gonna see plugins. Let's click on add new. Now what we're gonna do here is we are going to reset the entire website and we're gonna start over from scratch. You guys need to do this every time you switch between demo to demo, just to make sure none of the other demos import other content. So over here, you're gonna see WP reset. You'll go ahead and click on activate, and then you'll install this specific plugin. Once you guys do this, we are now going to reset the website. Over here under tools, you're gonna see WP resets. So this is going to basically delete the website and it's gonna start over from scratch. So scroll down here and then under the resets, we'll type in resets, click on reset sites, and then click on reset WordPress. All right, and then up here, I'll click on visit sites. And then you guys will see that everything has imported back to the WordPress factory settings, right? So what we're gonna do next is we are now going to re-import everything. So first, let's go over here to appearance and click on themes, and that'll activate the Houzez theme. Now right here, you guys are gonna enter in your purchase code. So go to your ThemeForest account and then go ahead and get your purchase code, and then you'll go ahead and copy and paste it right here. All right, so it worked. And now right here, I'll click on begin activating plugins. And now we're going to reinstall those plugins. So go ahead and activate these plugins. All right, and then I'll click on return to dashboard. All right, I'll close all these notices. I don't really want to use Slider Revolution. I'll probably save that for a whole nother video. Now, before we begin, I just want to make sure that my permalinks are set to post name, right? So right here, I'm gonna select post name just to make sure that sometimes it changes to custom structure. I'm not really sure why that is, but you want to make sure post name is selected. And now we're going to re-import a demo. So over here under Houzez, let's scroll down and click on demo imports. And we're now going to re-import the directory templates. So I'll go ahead and scroll down here. And I believe it is number 17. So this is the one that I want to use right here. So I'll go ahead and click on demo import. We're gonna scroll down and then we're gonna re-import this specific demo right here. So Houzez 17. So right here, I'll click on continue and import. All right, so the import has successfully completed. Now let's click on visit sites. Now earlier before, you guys saw that it had the same issue. All you gotta do to fix this is go to customize and assign the homepage settings as your current homepage, and that'll fix that right up. So homepage, and then I'll click on publish. All right, now the reason why we selected this template is because it has all of the various pages and everything propagated, like the memberships, invoices, and so on and so forth. But let's just go ahead and browse around really quick here. So you'll see that everything has imported successfully, right? Everything looks good. And the other demo, it actually didn't have all of the pages necessary. So this is more of a fast way. Also, it has this really nice corporate approach. I do like it, right? It's like it has that blue scheme, it has pricing tables, and it's more geared specifically for the directory style websites. So right here, I'll click on search. And here you'll see that we have a map. And I've already showed you guys how you guys can integrate all the other maps. So we know how to do that. But I'll go ahead and click on one of these properties here. Now, if you guys do get this, this is a quick fix as well. Sometimes when you import the demo, there is a small error. So I'll go ahead and show you guys how to quickly fix this. All you got to do is go to your theme options and just assign the property add page. That's it. And it fixes itself. So over here, I'll go to property detail. And we just have to select it and then click on save changes. And that'll fix the error that you guys get. All right, so just to show you guys, I'll go ahead and we'll do this one more time. I'll click on search. I'll click on a property. And voila, you'll now see that everything has imported successfully and everything looks great. All right. So that is how we can basically fix that error and also how to re-import the demo. All right, so before we begin, we first need to select a specific option in the general settings. We essentially need everyone to register. So let's go over here to our dashboard, go to settings and click on general. we're now going to click on this anyone can register. This will essentially allow everyone to register on your websites. So we'll scroll to the bottom and then click on Save Changes. Okay. So now basically anybody can come to your website and they can make an account. All right, now the next thing we need to do is we need to enable registration on our Create a Listing. And this is done in the theme options. So we can actually click on theme options right here as a quick little shortcut. And then over here under login and register, I want to turn on the register page. So I'll turn on register. Now for the first name for the register form, I want to put yes to this, yes to this. Also, if you guys want people to give you their phone number as well, you can go ahead and put in yes as well. And then you can go ahead and enable these options. Now, this one actually is important right here. This is after login. So after they log in, what page do you want them to go to, right? Maybe the dashboard. So I'll click on different page. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the URL for the dashboard. I don't know what it is, so we're gonna find out. Here it is, board, right? So essentially, I want them to be redirected to the dashboard. So I'll go ahead and paste that there. Here's the terms and conditions. You guys will need to create a terms and conditions for your website. And all you gotta do is create a page and then assign that specific page for your terms and conditions. Here you guys can enable the Facebook via login and also Google. If you guys do want to enable this, all you guys need to do is go to Fiverr.com, get a developer, and they can integrate the API for you. So here I am at Fiverr, and we'll type in social login. And you'll see that all these guys will do it right here, right? They'll do it for your WordPress website. This guy will do it for 10 bucks. I recommend this because they tend to always change the API interface and it makes the videos look outdated. So from now on, I just recommend to have these guys do it for you if you want to go that route. All right, scrolling up here, so you'll see all of the options are set. Also for the login register, you can change this as a text or an icon, but it's up to you. You know, you can show it as text. All it does is it changes the text on the actual menu to just be text instead of a icon. Just show you guys really quick. So if I click on view sites, and then you'll see this says login or register. So you guys can choose that, or you can choose the actual login button. It's really up to you. All right, so now let's give you guys a quick walkthrough of how people register on your websites. So they can click on register or create a listing. It'll bring them to the same page where they have to register and make an account. So you'll see right here, login required. And then here they can click on register. Now the user can go ahead and register for your website. So their first name, last name, username, email, phone number, and then type of account. They can go ahead and select that right here. You guys can turn these on or off in the theme options for the roles. So if you guys don't want to have these, you can just have one, but I'll go ahead and just walk you guys through that. So right here in the user roles section under the login and register, here you guys can disable specific roles. So I don't want owner, right? I don't want manager, but I do want agents, agency, buyer, and seller. This will distinct the difference between the people on the website. So I'll go ahead and click on Save Changes. All right, and then let's go back to the login page. All right, so I'll go ahead and refresh this page. I'll click on register. And then for the type of account, you'll see there's only 4 selections, right? So let's just say I'm an agent, right? Maybe I'm listing on behalf of someone else, right? So I'll put Jenny Wilson, and then Jenny Wilson at AOL.com. And then here is our phone number. She will agree with our terms and conditions, and then click on register. All right, cool. So they will get emails regarding their credentials, and then once they get those credentials, they can log into your websites. So this is where all the users will be displayed. Here you'll see Jenny Wilson is registered on the websites, and here I can click on edits. Now this is Jenny's account, and we can go ahead and change her email. So if she says, hey, I created the wrong email, you can adjust it right here. Also, you guys can set a new password for her. So if she forgets her password, you guys can manually change it for her and let her know you changed it, or you'll click on the send reset link and this will send her login credentials for her, okay? So I'm gonna change her password to, what is it? I'll just change it to Wilson, right? Wilson, and I'll scroll to the bottom and then click on update user. So now let's go ahead and log in with Jenny's accounts. And then her password is Wilson, right? Remember me, and click on login. So once she logs in, it's going to redirect them to the dashboard, right? So this is where they can basically look at all of their properties. They can create listings and also purchase memberships. So every user has the ability to log in on the back end. So now that I think about it, a better page to redirect users to is probably the properties page, right? So on this properties page right here, users can actually see their property, and if they don't have one, they'll be prompted to list one right away. So I'm actually gonna change that. I'm gonna change this permalink right here and adjust this in the theme options. So over here under login and register, I'm gonna scroll down and I'm actually just going to link this page right here. So if users actually log in on my website, I want them to go to my properties page instead. So here I'll click on save changes. So now let's talk about how users create properties and also if they're gonna pay you or not. So right here, I'll click on create a listing. So now you'll see that they don't have a package. So we need to select an option whether they're gonna get a free membership, a pay per listing, or a membership. So let's do that. So I'm back over here under the general settings and we're gonna scroll down and we're gonna find membership. So I'll click on membership and here is where we have some options. We have basically free listings, right? So this means users can just list on our website for free and they won't be charged anything whatsoever. We also have free but pay for featured. This will essentially allow people to list properties for free, but if they want to upgrade their listing, they can do that right here. And for example, you can actually adjust the featured price right here. So the featured price I'll put as just $1, right? And by putting in the featured days, we're gonna say, I'll give you guys 15 days of featured listings. So that means they pay $1 and they will have their property featured for 15 days. You guys can also select expired days. If you guys do want their listings to expire, you can click on yes, and then click on the number of days, right? So if you want their listing to expire after 90 days, you can go ahead and do that. I would probably put maybe I don't know, a year or something, right? Something enough time to actually let them know that the property won't be selling, but this is strictly up to you. So I'll go ahead and just click on save changes and I'll just give you an example of what this does. All right, so I'm over here under create a listing, but I'm gonna refresh the page. Once I refresh the page, you'll now see that I have the option to create a listing. So I'll go ahead and walk through you guys. So now that I refresh the page, you guys will now see I have an option to create a listing. So I'll go ahead and put in my property. All right, awesome. So the property has been submitted successfully. Over here, I'll click on properties. So now you'll see right here that the property is pending, and I'll go ahead and show you guys how to approve this from the admin side. So here is the website, and I'm an admin, so I'm going to go ahead and log in. On the left side, you're gonna see that we have the listings, right? We have the real estate properties. So over here, I'll click on real estates and then click on properties. You're gonna see that this is pending right here. And as an admin, I can see the actual user, right? Jenny Wilson. So this is the actual property she submitted. I can adjust this for her. So if I'm like, oh, you made a mistake right here, I'll put this in studio for you. And then I can readjust anything that she's done right here. So I can readjust anything else. I can add in features. If she calls me and says, hey, can you please change it to this or whatever, I can do all of that for her. But if I actually get the approval to actually publish the property, on the top right here, I'll click on publish and publish. And now this property is now submitted and listed on the actual website. And we can check it out. So right here, click on view property. And then you'll see that here is the info, right? Jenny Wilson. Here is all the information she puts, and people can call her, text her, and so on and so forth, right? So as you guys can tell, it's a very thorough website, and people can actually also contact Jenny here on the websites. Put Daryl Wilson, here's a number. I'm interested, and I'm a buyer, right? And then I'll send the message. Okay, so we actually took a look at the property, we sent them a message. Now let's see if Jenny got it. So back to Jenny's accounts, I'll go ahead and refresh this page here. And right away, you guys will see that it has been approved right here. So we now can see that this has been approved and the property is now listed on the website. We can also click on view stats right here, and we can take a look at the actual stats. So if people are actually looking at it, we can see what countries and so on and so forth. And then also over here under board, I'll click on the dashboard. And then you'll see here that we actually have the lead, right? So we have the person right here, we have the message, we have the name, the email, the phone. I'm a buyer. Now we can actually go ahead and contact them, via email or phone. So that's how we can connect buyers with the sellers. So next, let's click on activities. Let's walk you guys through this really quick. So this is activities, right? I just showed you guys this. The next one is deals. We'll talk more about this in just a second. So next we have leads, and leads is essentially getting more information about the user who's interested in the property. So over here I clicked on details, and you'll see that it shows the email, the type, the message, the phone number, and also the specific property that they're interested in. Over here I'll click on view as well, and this gives us a little bit more information about the specific property, right? So instead of actually going and checking on the property, this displays all of the credentials for that specific property. We can also click on view as well if you guys want to actually see the specific property that they're talking about or the one that they emailed you about, right? Pretty cool. The next one is inquiries. And inquiries is the same thing. It's just people who have messaged you about the specific property. Also insights. This is again where users can get insights about the properties, right? Like here we have 9 views and everyone is viewing the property, right? Pretty cool. So now let's go back over here and click on properties. So right here, you can see that we have this specific property, right? But there is actions we can take. We can actually delete this, duplicate it, view the stats, but we can also upgrade to featured. This will essentially allow people to pay on your website. So for this specific instance, I'm actually going to use my credit card and I'm actually going to pay to make this featured, and then we'll see what it does. All right, so you'll see that I went ahead and I paid for it. I actually used direct bank transfer. I decided not to use my credit card, right? So then I'll click on go to dashboard. So now I'll go ahead and take a look at the admin's perspective. So I'll go ahead and, so if you guys do want to see your invoices over here under real estate, we'll just go ahead and click on invoices. Now we're going to integrate payment gateways in just a bit, but right here, you'll see that this is not paid. And all I got to do is just change this to paid. So right here, I'll go ahead and update this to paid. So then I'll click on wire payment received. You'll see it's now paid. And then I'll click on update. All right, cool. Now let's go ahead and view the website and see if it's featured or not. So I'll go over here and click on search. And right away, you'll see that Daryl's property is now featured as number 1. So that's how you guys can also add in the featured section on your listings. All right, so before going any further, I first want to show you guys how to integrate payment gateways. So we're going to be talking about pay per listing next. So we need to have payment gateways on the websites. Over here under theme options, we'll click on payment gateways. Now there's 2 ways you guys can do this. You guys can use the Houzez custom gateways, or you guys can use WooCommerce. If you guys do use WooCommerce, you guys need to have WooCommerce installed and the Houzez Woo add-on. This will essentially allow you guys to use any payment gateway with WooCommerce. If you guys are not familiar with WooCommerce, I do have another video that goes through all of WooCommerce, and I will leave that in the description. But for this video, we're going to use the Houzez custom gateways and use PayPal and also Stripe. So I'll click on Save Changes. And we're going to scroll to the bottom here and I'll click on PayPal settings. So I want to go ahead and turn this on. So let me show you guys where you guys get your PayPal credentials. So I'm over here on paypal.com and I've already logged into my account. You guys won't need to have a business account in order for this to work. I will leave this in the description below of this video. Once you guys are here, you'll just click on apps and credentials, and then you'll click on create an app. So I'll go ahead and give this a name. So Houzez directory. Under merchants, I'll click on merchants, and then I'll click on create an app. And that's it. So I'm going to take this client ID right here. I'll copy this, go back to the website. So client ID, I'll paste that in there. And then I'll also put in the client secret key. So to do that, I'll click on show, and then I'll copy this. Then I'll just go ahead and paste in the secret key. Then all I need to do here is put in my email. Make sure this is the PayPal email, right? And then I'll click on Save Changes. All right, cool. So we've integrated PayPal. So now people can pay you via PayPal. Let's go ahead and scroll down here, and now we're going to integrate Stripe. So next, I'll click on Stripe settings. So now let's talk about Stripe. So this is stripe.com. Now stripe.com is a free service that I personally use, and all they do is they take a small percentage of the transaction, which is standard for most websites. Now there is no credit check and there's no money required. So you guys will just go ahead and make an account, and I'll meet you in the dashboard. So here's stripe.com, and you'll see that yesterday we made about $300, right? I actually use this on my website. So you'll see right here, we have made about, say, $19,000 over the last 3 months or something, right? And all the money is directly deposited into my bank account. It's really simple. So now let's integrate this with our website. So I'll go over here and click on Demo Business. Now at the top right here, I'm gonna click on Developers. And then we're gonna see API keys. All we're gonna do is copy and paste the API keys and we're done. So I'm gonna copy the publishable key and then I'll paste it on the website. So right here under Stripe settings, I'm going to now publish this, right? And then I also need to publish my secret key. So to create a secret key, all we're gonna do is click on Create a Secret Key. Here I'll put in my code. Here I'll put in a name for my secret key. Then I'll click on Create. I'll go ahead and copy and paste the secret key onto the website. I'll go ahead and paste it here and then click on Save Changes. And that's it, we're done. Now we can go ahead and test this. So let's go ahead and log into Jenny's account and see if we can use credit cards. All right, so I'm logged into Jenny's account again, and I went ahead and I created a new property called 5000 Daryl Wilson Way. You'll see right here that this property is already featured because we've already paid for it. But over here, I'll go ahead and upgrade this one to featured. Now we have the option for Stripe, PayPal, and bank transfer. You guys might want to get rid of bank transfer, and you guys can do that in the theme customizer options. So over here under payment gateways, if we scroll right here and click on direct payment, we can actually disable this, right? So I'll go ahead and disable this and then click on Save Changes. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look back at our demo website. Okay, here I'll refresh the page and then you'll see it's gone. So I'm actually going to use Stripe this time and then click on Complete Payments. Once I do that, you're gonna see that the account right here, so mine is Demo Business, right? But we can go ahead and enter in our credit card right here. So I'm gonna enter in my credentials here and pay using my own credit card. All right, so I went ahead and paid with my credit card. And then you'll see it takes us right back to the website and it brings us to the thank you page. Now I do wanna talk about this page. You guys will see right here how it has this demo content. You guys can also adjust this in the theme options. So going back to the theme options, in order to design and customize the thank you page, we're just gonna scroll down over here and you are going to see the memberships and thank you page. Let's go ahead and scroll up. So right here, we can adjust this, right? So thank you for buying on Daryl Wilson's websites. And then I can save those changes. So that's how you guys can adjust the thank you page. So right here, let's go ahead and see if this works actually. I'll go ahead and refresh this page and see if it actually changes. All right, cool, there it goes. So we have successfully changed the thank you section. Then I'll click on Go to Dashboard. All right, and right away, you'll see that our properties are now featured. Pretty cool. And we can actually do a search on the website to make sure that this is actually legitimate. So let's go over here to Houses. Here, I'll click on Search. And we should see 5000 Daryl and 1000 Daryl at the top. And voila, you'll see 5000 Daryls at the top and also 1000. So that's how you guys can integrate featured ads on your websites. So next, let's talk about pay per listing. If you guys do want to integrate pay per listing where people need to pay you for a specific listing, let me show you guys how to do that. So under memberships, you'll see under the enabled paid memberships, we have already done free, but now we can do per listing, right? And here we can select users to allow specific listings on the websites. So here we have the expiration dates. We'll put the expiration date for 90 days. Here we can select the specific currency for the websites. Now, what does it cost to actually list a property? Well, I'll put $2. If they want to also add the featured price, they'll pay $1. Here under the PayPal Stripe payment gateway, we can go ahead and change this to live. And then right here under terms and conditions, all you'll do is select your terms and conditions. So just to reiterate here, we are allowing them to list a property for $2. We are also giving them the option to purchase featured price for another $1. So in total, it'll be $3. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on Save Changes. All right, and now let's take a look at Jenny's account again. All right, so now let's go ahead and create a listing. So at the top right here, I'll click on Create a Listing. So now we're going to create another demo. So I'll go ahead and put in something like 8000 Daryl Wilson property. And then we'll go ahead and fill in the demo content. All right, so I went ahead and I created the listing, and now I'll click on Submit Property. So after the user submits the property, right here you can see that the total price is $2. We can also click on this checkbox right here to make it featured. That essentially gives the user the ability to make the property featured for $1 more. So I'll go ahead and click on Stripe, and then I'll use my credit card and pay on the website. So just like before, you guys will see that it now charges us $2, and this is to list the property on the website. So I'll go ahead and pay for this really quick. And just like that, the user has paid, and here I'll go to my dashboard. And then you'll see that this invoice has been paid. Now the reason why these say not paid is because we actually switched it from free to pay per listing. However, these are already on the website, so even though it says not paid, there's nothing you need to worry about. So after we have paid for this, we can now check for this on the admin side. So going back over here, the first thing I wanna do is I wanna go ahead and check the general dashboard, right? So I need to actually see the invoice. So over here under houses, we're gonna go, under real estate, we're gonna go down here and click on invoices. So we have seen that Jenny has paid using Stripe for $2, and it's already paid for, right? So there's nothing more for us to do. We've already received the money in our bank. And over here under properties, I'll go ahead and now approve it. So you'll see that Paddywhack property is pending. So I'll go ahead and just click on quick edit, and then I'll change this to published. Scroll to the bottom, and then update. And that's it. So now the property has successfully been submitted to the websites. Let's test it out. Let's go ahead and click on visit site. Do a quick search. All right, so we'll go ahead and scroll here. So you'll see it's not at the top because we did not make it featured. So because of that, it's gonna be below all the featured ones. So you see how these are all featured, right? So it's gonna appear below it. And it is right here. So it is the last one under featured. So 1000 Paddywhack property, and you'll see that it is now working and submitted on the websites. I'll go ahead and just click on it, just to get some more info, and everything has propagated and everything looks fantastic. So that's how you guys can also integrate the pay per listing. It really is up to you guys at this point. You can do free pay per listing, and you guys can also do membership. So now let's jump into memberships. So first, let's go ahead and activate it in the theme options, and then I'll show you guys how to create them. So over here, we'll go to the theme options, and then we're gonna scroll down and we are going to find memberships. Under memberships, we're gonna turn on memberships. Now you guys can choose to have recurring payments on your website and also auto recurring. So essentially what that's gonna do, it's going to keep charging users credit card. Generally, most people do this, so I would make sure that these are both auto-enabled. And then you'll go ahead and set in the conditions right here. So this is live. Featured price, we can leave that as $1 as well. That's gonna be separate from our packages. All right, so we went ahead and we enabled this. Now we need to go ahead and create packages. And to do that, we need to actually go over here to real estate, and then click on packages. So here is the packages they've created for us. So for example, we have the starter, the standard, and the premium. So under starter, let's click on edit. So here we can go ahead and edit the actual package. So we have billing period. You can charge people on a daily, weekly, or a monthly, or even a yearly subscription. So I'll go ahead and choose monthly. For billing frequency, we'll go ahead and leave this as 12, right? So for 12 months. How many listings are included in this specific package? Well, I'll say 10 are included. Or you can allow unlimited listings. How many featured listings are included? So how many do they get, right? Now, they can always pay for featured listings, but if they use all the featured listings, then they will go ahead and have to pay us extra for that. For the package price, I'll put $5. And then for the package Stripe ID, this is just for like your own information. So I'll just put like starter package. So the next is the tax Stripe ID. I don't think you guys need to enter anything here because we are not selling physical products. So I'm going to skip the Stripe tax ID. You guys can always log into your Stripe account and ask them if you need this, but I don't think you do because we are selling services on the internet. So the next is the taxes. If your state is subject to online services tax, then you guys will have to enter like a tax rate here. But for I think 47 states, it's not. So I'm going to skip the taxes. How many images per listing? I would just put in like 5, right? or unlimited, right? I mean, you want the users to sell on your website, right? So I would just, I would leave that as either 5 or unlimited. Then we have the is popular featured. So we are adding our own featured listing. So we're gonna put no. If you put yes, I do believe that it activates the featured for all of the listings. So I'm gonna leave this as no. Custom link, I'm going to leave this here as blank. So you guys can redirect them to a whole nother website if you wanna do that, but we've already integrated this with Stripe, so I'm gonna leave nothing there. And then I'll click on updates. All right, so that's how we can create packages, right? Now let's go ahead and click on packages, and you're gonna see that there is 3 packages right here. So you guys can go ahead and adjust these to your liking. Also, I do want to notify you guys that if you guys do create packages, they are also available in the elements for the Elementor page builder. So here we have pricing table, and what we can do is take this and drop it right here. And then here we'll select a package. So we have premium, we have standard, and then we also have starter. You guys can also put this into like a 3-column row, right? If you guys want to make it like more of like a, like a 3-column row, we can duplicate this, drag it there, and then do the same thing. And then obviously you'll just adjust this package, right? So here, I'll put this right there. For example, this one I'll put standard, and this one I'll put premium, right? So you can make like a pricing table that looks just like this right here using the elements if you guys want to add this to your home page or any other page that you guys want. But now that we've created those packages, now let's go ahead and test this out. Let's purchase a package from Jenny's account. All right, so I'm gonna refresh the page over here, and these are all approved, right? But now we have to actually purchase a membership. So up here, I'll click on create a listing. Now it's telling us we need a package. We have no packages. So we now need to purchase a package. So right here, I'll click on get package. So next we're brought to our packages page. Now, if this page did not propagate, just remember you need to actually add a page and select the packages as your page template in order for this page to propagate. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna select this starter and click on get started. Next, I'll go ahead and I'll also go to Stripe right here, and I'll purchase this package one more time. So you'll see right here how it says subscribe. So every 12 months, it's going to charge us $5, right? Because we're on an annual package. You guys can always change that to daily, to weekly, or to monthly if you guys choose to do so. So I'll go ahead and enter in my email, and I'll purchase this package. So now I'll click on subscribe, and I will purchase the package. And that's it. So now we have submitted a membership. You'll see over here under memberships, it will show like the current memberships that we're currently on. They can go ahead and change their membership plan here and also cancel it at any time. And the user can go ahead and create as many listings as they want on this current membership. I think that's pretty much it. So that's how we can create a membership style directory website if you choose to do so. All right, party people, thank you guys so much for watching this real estate directory tutorial. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. All right, party people, thank you guys so much for watching our real estate directory website tutorial. If you guys have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below, and I will do my best to get to everyone's comments. My name is Daryl Wilson, and I'll see all of you party people in the next video, guys. Take care.